I am Tierra. I am owner and formulator and founder of the TierraGoesGreen lifestyle program, where I literally make people's lives healthy from the inside out. I take a holistic approach via everything it is that I do. So everything it is that I do, I align myself with nature. So I live a very holistic lifestyle, completely plant-based, where it is about the mental aspects of health, the emotional aspects of health, and the spiritual components of health, where I feel that those are personal factors. Those are personal factors with everything else. So definitely raise your hands if you are here. Make sure that you guys are actually engaging with one another. Let me know if y'all can see me, if y'all can hear me. I know there's still technical issues, but there's still other attendants here. So definitely let me know. I have an entire tech team that is sitting in the back and people that are ready to actually capture your questions or your inquiries or anything else. Ideally, I'm gonna take you all through, I teach a non-traditional way. So it's gonna be me a little bit, but you're gonna hear my voice majority of the time. And when you hear my voice majority of the time, I have an entire PowerPoint presentation. So with that webinar, with that PowerPoint presentation, that's just giving you visuals. I want you all to pretty much do your own research. I'm only one person. I can only do so much for you. You know, like you definitely have to do the work for yourself, with yourself, by yourself, because that's basically, you know, what ideally it's going to be. So it is ideally that type of work that you have to do just within inside of yourself, of understanding overall just holistic health and getting to a space of unity just within inside of yourself and complete harmony. So everything it is that we'll cover, I am 100% only going to nature, 100% going to nature. I believe that that is the fluent, consistent thing, that is the only thing that truly works, and that's the only thing that will never ever lie to you, is nature. That's the one thing on the entire planet that's completely consistent. So that was before written language, that was before the medical industry, that was before terminology, that was before technology. So at the end of the day, nature always wins. So be mindful of all of those things. So I believe that when you are truly embodying health all the way around the board, it is a holistic aspect via health, and ideally what it is that you truly want to do. So let's definitely go ahead and jump into the webinar. Valuing your victorious vagina. This entire webinar, the premise of me doing this webinar is because I want a world full of game changers, not placeholders. My goal with valuing your victorious vagina is to create an army of magical women and men, people in general, that will be so empowered and so confident and so wise that no type of tactics can be used against them that shall prosper. There are so many men and women that make me so proud, sending me emails, telling me that there are things that they become better and they're winning now. Really being able to see all of those elements. So there are so many people that are sending me emails telling me that they become better and they are winning now. But for every single last one of those 20 warrior queens or completely just magical kings, those type of people, I have 50 more that can't even put it together, and they relapse after months of doing it right. Whether that is eating well, whether that is emotionally healing, whether that is spiritual alignment, whether that is physical awareness. You know, people are really making strides through themselves. So really year after year, I keep seeing the same basic mistakes being made, because no one girl hangs up the phone with me and then goes back to her normal life. It doesn't truly stick. You know, like a person can actually pop up and completely take them somewhere else. They can get lost in cum clouds. And then it's back to the basic female way of life, falling in love with a person who couldn't piss on you if you were on fire. So really understanding how we're going to get to that. If anybody truly wants to go ahead and take these things a step further out of everything that we will disclose and everything that we will go through with this webinar, I provide a service called Talks with Tierra, where if there is a specific issue that is completely dealt and generated towards you, I am here and I am able to actually help you to where we can actually customize a plan, a program, or just really do things more in depth when it comes down to you and your personal thing. So this is definitely just an opportunity to really get those questions answered and really get to a better understanding of what's actually going on with inside of your life. So please make sure everything is available via TierraGoesGreen.com. Not to mention my social media platforms are full with information that you are more than able to go ahead and utilize. Disclaimer. This webinar is not intended to prove or diagnose prescriptions. It is an informal guide to help you better understand your body and your health. Please keep in mind that plants are not drugs, though they can be very powerful from their effects and cannot be guaranteed, as they vary from woman to woman, man to man. The remedies contained in this presentation are based on personal experiences of myself. However, I cannot be held responsible for any adverse effects resulting from use of treatments or remedies or suggestions. If in doubt, do not hesitate to consult an herbal practitioner, not a medical doctor. Medical doctors are fluent in medicine. I'm saying go to a herbal practitioner, a naturopath, a physician, or a gynecologist. All of those may be better able to actually assist you within everything. Also, within this disclaimer, there will be profanity use. I am not trying to offend anyone or step on anybody's toes. We are going to do this in a very, very, very relatable way. With this webinar, we will learn common problems, holistic solutions, preventative care, and all sorts of sexual secrets. I'm a firm believer that women are the most powerful beings on the planet. And that's not in vain. You know, like vaginas, pussy runs everything. People beg, they lie, they spin, they make promises. They know they can't keep up with just because of what's in between your legs. And mean to tell you that you buy into this idea that you're a weaker gender? I'm sorry, I completely disagree. A man's world revolves around attaining you. Yet, look how you allow yourselves to be treated by these peasants and these products. And for what? The idea of a I love you or a semi-hard dick or redundant conversation? Your definition of loyalty? I'm in the business of creating valuable people because I only care about those game changers, those people who are really trying to change the narrative of their life. We will also learn how to heal sexual trauma and residue. We're going to learn more about birth control and hormonal imbalances, fertility, menopause, hysterectomies, hair removal, cleansing your genitals, bacteria vaginosis, which is so common, so common, urinary tract infections, yeast infections, smells, textures, and once again, those sex secrets. So this isn't a webinar where you should take, or maybe this isn't for you if you're super sensitive, because the gloves are all the way off. But if you want the honest truth, and I'm going to give you the real solutions to really, really glow up. And I say glow up because it's all about being better. It's all about being better than what you are, who you are, how you are. Now it's time to unleash all of that power on the world. Like no matter what your age is, no matter if you're single or haven't dated in years, currently dating or in a relationship, or if, you know, even your marriage is on the rocks, or maybe you're just looking for something to aspire to actually have, you will win if you learn how to master yourself. So we are going to upgrade these vaginas. Thank you for the men who are in here who are truly trying to learn how to enhance himself so he's able to truly attract something of absolute greatness. You have to learn these things. So that is all that I actually have left to teach you about womanhood. You know, like, so how you actually really want to get what it is that you want, but more importantly, how to maintain it. It's one thing to have a vagina. It's something else to have a victorious one. And it's something else to have someone else truly value that. But first, it has to start within ourselves. So this webinar will transform any woman into a complete game changer. And honestly, it is about time, because no woman should be struggling to find happiness internally or externally. No man should be with a broken woman who does not know how to find herself internally or externally. How can we walk around as people of greatness if we do not know how to truly attain ourselves? So, the common problems. We have all of these issues. Some of these myths and some of these things that I'm hearing a lot of the times, a lot of the bad advice that is being cycled around all the time. Okay, let's just run through a little list of these things. One, the vagina is self-cleansing. It cleans itself. It doesn't need your help. It doesn't need your assistance. Please stop using dishing products, ladies. Please, 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 please. Number two, your diet affects your vaginal scent. So if there are people that are running around sucking on Dole pineapples and having a pineapple and cranberry and absolute, that is not the way. If you are drinking anything or consuming anything that comes out of a jar or a can, I'm sorry, you have it messed up. And it is a common problem. People are walking around like, yeah, I got my pineapple juice, knowing you didn't make that yourself, not realizing that your diet truly affects your scent. Number three, your clitoris has more nerve endings than anywhere else on the body. It is highly sensitive. It is highly beautiful. It is highly captivating and alluring. Number four, not all vaginas are alike. Please learn yours. It doesn't have to look or smell or even respond like any other vagina you know. Get to know yours, or, the one that you're actually working with. Men, the ones that you're working with, please get to know those. Number five, your vagina mucus is a perfect signal for when it is time to have sex for pregnancy purposes. So your vagina, how thick it is or how runny it is or cloudy, or some people have cottage cheesy or whatever that texture is, that is a signal. We have to learn the language of our bodies. So therefore, a healthy vagina will actually have a very clear, rubbery or sticky type of discharge that will indicate where your cycle is and where you are in terms of actual ovulation. So that's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just what actually is. We just do not know what is happening with us. Our ladies who are going through menopause, congratulations for actually making it to that level, because a lot of people don't even make it to that level. A lot of people who are walking around with the sexually transmitted infections or diseases. A lot of people are walking around with the fibromyalgia and, once again, bacterial vaginosis. That is something that I suffer with for years. That is one of the main foundations of why I am doing this webinar, because there is another way. There is definitely another way. We are not supposed to be walking around smelling like Purina puppy child puss. We're not supposed to walk around with these fibroids, with our bodies hurting. We're not supposed to be walking around like the Sahara Desert, really trying to figure out, what KY then came out with this season. We definitely should not be walking around with fertility issues for everybody who is looking to actually create and grow a family. So it's going to be the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. Like there is no mystery of all of these issues and all of these organs that are truly taking place. So we're definitely going to go ahead and get to the premise of all of these issues and what we can truly do to be able to come around those things. Here are some simple truths. I'm going to give you a second. Let's pause. Number one, your energy is blocked. You are not as fresh as you think that you are. So with these smells that are taking place, like that's definitely one of the things. If something does not feel right, 10 times out of 10, it is not right. That is with our husbands. That is with our pH balance. That is the moment after we had sex or engaged in some sort of sexual activity. The moment we start feeling things bubble and fester and can't quite figure out, something is not right. No matter how much they say they love you, no matter how much we put into ourselves. No matter what FDS commercial sold you into buying this highly chemically induced spray fragrance that you think smells like Hawaiian flowers, that is not it. Number 4, did I mention that you are what you eat? There is no escaping it. You are what you eat, drink, swallow, entertain, and digest, because food is not just a physical food. You can have a mental food. You can have emotional food, spiritual food. All of those are different ways that your body, your spirit, your soul, your essence, your aura feeds off of. So responsibility and accountability is all yours. We are responsible to a certain extent for evolving ourselves through this and bringing our own form of inspiration. So really understanding how all of these reproductive systems truly work and what we are actually up against, endometriosis, these symptoms and all of these signs, these fibroids. You know, endometriosis is made up of cells that create that lining within inside of the uterus. The cells can actually break away and grow inside the uterine cavity, implanting themselves. So understanding how cells truly work, trauma hides in cells. Trauma hides in places where you can actually struggle with your womanhood. I am coming back to you are what you eat. We cannot be ashamed of any of those issues. All of these common problems that we're dealing with on a regular basis should not be common, ladies and gentlemen. It should definitely not be common. This is not something that we are supposed to be struggling with or entertaining or even dealing with on a regular basis. That is not how things are supposed to naturally flow. That is not how things are supposed to work within inside of ourselves. We have to be mindful of all of the things it is that we truly eat. And you are what you eat. I live a plant-based lifestyle because of the simple fact I understand that an unhealthy state is created by provisions of the natural laws. Like, they're distorted. So the law says that a whole person must eat whole foods. Whole foods are made by nature, not the place across the street, not the place that is called Whole Paycheck. That is not what Whole Foods truly is. Whole foods are made by nature, not man. Man-made foods are partial foods. So that's what you would call a hybrid or a broccolini or those Brussels sprouts or, you know, those grapes that y'all are addicted to that taste like cotton candy. Y'all know grapes don't grow tasting like cotton candy. Cotton candy don't grow nowhere in nature. That's a man-made hybrid type food. Of course, there's a lot of different health practitioners and healers that talk about man-made foods, hybrid foods. But hell, if it was here around the time that the Egyptians were, if it's been here ancient and dated, I'm gonna go ahead and eat and drink me some lemons because I don't understand. And at the end of the day, we're fighting different types of issues that other people are not subjugated to. So understanding how partial foods produce partial health. So processed foods, those added fats, oils, sugars, refined grains, that is wheat, pasta, dairy, rice, potatoes, all of that stuff. And it's just like, oh, you might as well go ahead and eat a whole birthday cake because that's what your body metabolizes those things as, pardon me. And also the synthetic foods, which are chemicals, radiation, and drugs. So synthetic foods, those are the things that make the body mildly or severely sick and eventually collapse the immunity. That is where your problems lie. That is the problem that is taking place in today's society. We are eating and consuming a lot of processed foods because of emotional addictions. We have these emotional addictions that we have within foods, within all sorts of different things. You know, like men need to do better and women need to do better. Those both are generalizations. So let's talk about you personally. And if you can't pick up your phone to see the name of a woman that you could actually marry one day, then you need to do better. Step your roster up, gentlemen. Women, step your roster up. Y'all have to have higher standards. Truly put in that effort instead of complaining that there are no quality people or no quality partners out here in the world for you. You have to change that world by changing yourself first. You hear me? Change that world before you have to change your world before you can actually change the world. Think about your life. Think about the people that you truly let in it, the people that you actually give your time to, the relationships that you truly create. What is your agenda? Then also look at the corporate manufacturers that actually produce your foods, your feminine hygiene products, your injections of high blood pressure, your fertility treatments, your birth control. Think of it all the same. What is your agenda with these people beyond, you know, the juvenile chase or catch and release that you've been doing since high school? You can't attract greatness when your thoughts are centered on quantity over quality. It's the same. It's all a relationship with yourself. Something to do will turn into something that you can't get rid of if you keep entertaining things that are just occupying a place. Y'all know y'all shouldn't be eating out of vending machines. Y'all know that. There is nothing great in a vending machine. Maybe some MSG-induced peanuts, or maybe I just had something on my stomach. Instead of just saying, you know what, let me go ahead and make sure I drink a gallon of water a day, because that's going to do me more of a service than, you know, these little MSG sprinkled peanuts. Everyone needs a life partner, but most will truly end up settling with the one based on convenience instead of true love. You do the same thing with your food. You do the same thing with your career. You do the same thing completely across the board. You just settle. Don't be like the generation before you or these new people that make you a seat filler permanent because they get tired of looking or making the mistake of getting somebody pregnant. Be picky. There are plenty of exceptional women out here, but how can you truly find them, or if you keep sticking with the same typical type of people? Women, we are going to upgrade our vaginas in every way, shape, or form, especially if you're out here just giving yourself away in whatever reason it is that you actually are. We're going to aim to truly, truly snatch somebody of actual royalty as opposed to entertaining peasants. We have to get out of denial. Denial, denial, denial. Always remember that releasing is the place to where healing truly takes place. Really understanding that all of these things that we are consuming on a regular basis, that we are doing on a regular basis, you truly are what you eat. Eat things that look like you. You need your brain to work? Eat a walnut. You need your stomach to be okay? Eat some ginger, swallow some ginger. All of these things are basically telling you that is how awesome God truly is. The commercial fast foods are non-organic, processed, genetically altered, and chemicalized dirt, and are synthetic food lookalikes. Nothing that comes from a drive-through, from a picture in your automobile is going to do you any type of service. In fact, there is no commercial foods that are truly safe to eat. Like, commercial foods have a overabundance of toxic, poisonous, synthetic chemicals, hormones, antibiotics, steroids, and then they have these things called Terminator codes, y'all. So Terminator codes are basically like these little coding things, genetically engineered, because, you know, you do have food engineers. Y'all realize there are real food engineers that are out here that block nutrient absorption. So your food, it tastes amazing because it's designed to do something specifically. It's filled with additives and preservatives and coloring, which destroy and deteriorate the human body. And they are insanely addicting. They are insanely addicting. So understanding what we are doing out here, understanding, once again, you are what you eat. That's why your skin's breaking out. That's why you can't figure out what's wrong with your pH balance. How come you don't get wet? How come you can't please your husband? A lot of times the liquids that we're trying to secrete, it doesn't even come from our vaginas. Sometimes our mouths don't even get wet. What are we doing wrong? We have to fix these things, especially as wives, especially as life partners, especially that is your legal responsibility to a whole nother person is to really improve yourself beyond what it is that you are doing right here in this moment today. So we really, really, really have a choice. You can't control anything else except for what goes into your body. You can't control your partner's thoughts. You can't control the outcome of certain situations. You can't control any of those things. But what you can do is truly, truly, truly heal yourself beyond yourself by attaining to truly have something outside of yourself to really, really get to that space within inside of everything. You know, like, so really making that step above mediocrity. I believe in chakras. So chakras is a term that actually refers to like the wheels of energy that truly goes throughout our body. If nobody's really gotten into chakras or understand what that stuff truly is, take that time and really look at what chakras are, what they mean, what they can actually do for you. It's just something beautiful to really explore, because once again, I believe that one of the main components is our energy is blocked. I think that's one of the reasons why women can't reach that space of sexual orgasm. I believe that that is a space where people can't really attain, or there's blockages. There's a lot of sexual trauma that is trapped within inside of your body. A lot of people are dealing with things that they've never had to deal with, and it's manifesting itself in fibromyalgia, or it's manifesting itself with a hysterectomy, or it's manifesting itself with messed up pH balance, all because our bodies are naturally designed to hold on to things, or things got trapped. You know, like, we're dealing with a lot of people who deal with a lot of sexual trauma, whether it was rape or molestation, or a lot of things we block out and we don't even remember, or maybe just a bad sexual experience. And not just that, the sexual partners that we may have involved ourselves with. Women understand, once that energy goes inside of us, we are being penetrated. So that means we have to open up. Literally, you have to open up and allow something else to come inside of you. It doesn't have to be an ejaculation in order for it to be an energetic system. So understanding how that stuff truly is, the importance of the chakras, like these swirling wheels of energy, they correspond to massive nerve centers in the body. So a lot of the times you can't feel something because your ex is there. You can't feel something because of the trauma that you experienced within childhood. You can't experience something because you had a traumatic experience and got completely turned off. Or you can't experience something because the doctors convinced you to take out your life force. Really understanding how all of that stuff truly works. I definitely recommend, one of the main components of healing is learn how to navigate through the energetic space of your body. You are far more than anything physical. You're far more than spiritual. You're far more than emotional. You're far more than mental. You are an energetic being controlled by consciousness. You have to really understand. And once again, God is so awesome. He put all this stuff to just grow in the dirt for free. Now, of course, you know, we have to pay astronomical amounts of money for beautiful mangoes and carrots and rhubarb and real red peppers. You know, like, that actually costs some money. But understanding how all of this stuff is here for us, because the body is only designed to truly, truly to truly heal itself. So keeping your chakras open is a bit more of a challenge, but not so difficult when you truly have awareness. Since mind, body, and soul are intimately connected, awareness of an imbalance in one area will help bring others back into balance. So take, for example, you know, like a wife who has recently lost her husband, you know, like, so she develops acute bronchitis, which remains in the chest. And then she might get chest pains from time to time when she actually coughs. The whole heart chakra is affected in this case. If she realizes that the connection between the loss and bronchitis, that healing will occur much faster. So if she honors that grieving process and treats it well as the physical ailment. So your first chakra, the first of the three chakras, is starting down at the base of the spine. That is your sexual center. That is one thing, you know, like, where that is where you feel more physically in nature. So the first chakra is the chakra of stability. security, and our basic needs. It encompasses the first 3 vertebrae. So that is where your bladder infections are, your colon infections are, your urinary tract infections, your bacterial vaginosis infections. When the chakra is open and that energy is moved and cleared out of there, the same way that we clean our closets, the same way that we clean our bathrooms, we have to go through and remove toxic things before they set ourselves up to harm us. So when we feel safe and fearless, that is open. That's when you become completely ruthless. The second chakra, that is our creative and our sexual center. It is located above the pubic bone and below the navel, and it's responsible for our creative expression. That is the space where literally life is born. You create a child. That is the place where everything else is created. So imagine what's harbored there. If it is something that is of trauma, that's not fibromyalgia. What happened? Really, really dig and ask yourself what happened and what you still hold. Or not just that, what was that toxic lover that you allowed to really, really stay inside of you? Because life is actually made of 2 things. That is truth and that is lies. You fear the truth and you live the lies. We do that. If you put your phone down, sit in a dark room and drop all of that defensive armor, you will actually see the truth of your life. You don't want to look inside. You want to keep pushing forward as if nothing was wrong. Weak women affirmations preach nothing. It's your fault. And it will never make you better. This slave mentality that all you have to do is keep wishing for the thing to improve and it will never make you better. Defensive attitudes. Like you can have anybody you want. You just don't meet anybody that you actually want. That won't make you better either. This isn't about protecting your ego so you can continue to feel special. This is about telling yourself the truth so you can get over these mental blocks and really value yourself, value your vagina, value your victory, really conquer yourself on a level to where nobody can ever gift it to you. Nobody can ever take it from you. Nobody can ever, ever, ever have that part of you ever again. When a great fighter gets knocked out, they change their strategy. They study their mistakes and then they evolve. When you get knocked down in life, you don't change your strategy. You double down on ego and get knocked down in life. You don't change anything. You actually do that and then you blame and then you place blame. You don't study your past relationships. You black it out and point the finger like you will never evolve thinking that you're the victim whose time is going to come. It's not. And that's just a true reality. The attitude that most people carry and the most people truly carry around, that screams insecurity. And that insecurity is that bullseye for someone else to truly come in and exploit you. The moment a man or a person hears you actually vent about your exes, basically you're being generalized about every single body else. They make that generalization about males, or you jump to conclusions during a conversation. They automatically know that you're damaged in the same way that most women are damaged. We have to heal ourselves from the inside out. So the problem is, you guys, everything unfortunately is very toxic. I'm about to be a bubble buster on so many different levels. Everything is toxic. That is what we have come to realize. The first thing is toxic relationships. Okay, so we know these toxic relationships. We entertain these things. We go through all of these issues with inside of ourselves. We respond, we correspond, we do all of this stuff because of toxic relationships. The toxic relationships, it seems like one of the major indicators is like you just can't do anything right. And the toxic relationships isn't just an intimate relationship. That's any type of intimate relationship. That's your coworker, that's your mother, that's your auntie, that's your sister, that's your lover. It seems like you just can't do anything right. The person is constantly putting you down or is always making you ashamed most of the time. They mock your personality and make you feel like, like shit. You only feel pardon when you take on the traits during the condemning or judging, when you flip the script. When everything is about them and it's not you, definitely be aware that all of this is going to tear down your pH balance, and it's going to throw you off in every way, shape, or form. Men are carrying this stuff around as well. So therefore, toxic creates toxic creates toxic. So you were fine until you actually had sex with this awesome person who's still carrying around the hurt, the past, the judgments of their ex or their mommy issues or their upbringing, all of that stuff, you know, like when it's always about them, and you have feelings too, but the other person won't even hear them. You're unable to have two-sided conversations where your opinion is even heard, let alone considered or respected. Instead of acknowledging your feelings, they batter with you until they get the last word. That is a sign that you are in a toxic relationship. Another sign that you're in a toxic relationship is you find yourself unable to enjoy good moments with this person. Like completely, you can't find good moments with this person. Every day brings another challenge, and it seems as though they're always raising gripes about you. Their attempt to control your behavior or whatever is an attempt to control your happiness. Y'all, that is a toxic relationship. Your body, your vagina, especially if you are in an intimate relationship with this person. Me, using a personal example, I had one lover. Oh my gosh. Every time I engage in a sexual activity with this person, and I know every single thing about this particular lover was wrong. Wrong. Like the foundation was wrong, the times were wrong, everything was wrong. Every single time we engaged, I got bacterial vaginosis instantly. How are you trying to create anything healthy, anything promising, anything of beauty when you keep entertaining toxic things? All of these things that are listed on this page are direct contributors to what is actually the toxic issues. One, we have to be mindful about these toxic lovers. We around here taking these dirty dicks. Men, y'all walking around entertaining something that does not smell right, and you're tasting it, you're touching it, you're feeling it, and you're allowing this woman to walk around like this shit's okay. This is not okay. Us as a people, we have to upgrade ourselves before we're able to even value ourselves in any way, shape, or form. So for all of my men, you all need to know what actually sends off the sensors, what's wrong, what that smell means, what's going on, especially when you're engaging in a sexual act with someone. You need to know what the wetness actually feels like. You need to understand how that stuff truly is. If you're uncomfortable being yourself around that specific person, 9 times out of 10, you probably shouldn't even be engaging with them anyway. If it's not okay for you to seasonally allow your pubic hair to grow out, or you can't discuss birth control contraceptives with them, or hey, you know, like the condoms are kind of drying me out and they're changing my texture. If you are the man that is engaging with these condoms or understanding the textures are changing and so on and so forth, you know, y'all probably shouldn't be engaging in these acts anyway. So there definitely has to be a strong stance, because what we are dealing with and what we are not valuing is these life forces that we're really, really engaging with one another. So majority of the issues, women, are these birth control contraceptives. It's throwing off your hormonal imbalances. It is throwing off your libido. It's throwing off your texture. It's throwing off so many different things. A lot of people will ask, like, well, what's the best birth control, Tierra? What should I be using instead of anything? One, you might want to bring it down a notch. And I understand, you know, if this is a life partner or if this is a husband or wife situation, whatever it is, but you really have to be mindful. There are these things called, I'll bring it up at the end of the webinar. I can't remember right now, but I actually have it on hand. These specific things are the most healthy forms of birth control. And also, I think one of the most non-hormonal and non-invasive ways and forms of birth control is, ladies, y'all might want to go ahead and swallow it. That's like, you just might want to go ahead and just swallow it. That brings pleasure, not only just pleasure to him, But pleasure as a whole, we're walking around doing these things. Oh my gosh, that's so taboo, and I can't do this and I can't do that. If you're not doing all that you can, and if you're not being the best you that you possibly can be after you just shared the most sacred, intimate ritual on the whole planet with a person, that's the problem. You want your pH balance to be thrown. Girl, I don't know what he done did this weekend. Why? It's not about what he done did this weekend. It's what you're doing now. We got to grow up. We definitely have to grow up. If you're engaging with a person that you're not allowed to grow and change and evolve, or if you are the person that's not allowing your person to grow, to change, and to evolve, this should be something that's communal. Hey, babe, let's go ahead and do some green juice this week. I think that'd be great. Not realizing you're trying to align the balance out of whatever it is that you're trying to really navigate. We have to be mindful. Not to mention, we are sugar addicts. So all of these feminine products and all of these things, it is targeted to mess up our wombs. So these feminine hygiene products, one, they are filled with chemical, toxin, GMO, fibers that are completely destructing our wombs. So imagine if all you knew was Kotex tampons and always. Look at the babies now, y'all. Look at the babies and how painful these periods are. I'm not going to go too much into the feminine hygiene just because I taught an entire webinar called Master Your Menstrual, where that is filled with information and tools on how to really navigate for better feminine hygiene. That can actually be purchased on TierraGoesGreen.com as well. So I covered that completely, and I don't want to be redundant to my return viewers who are in here. Thank you for coming back and understanding. And also, we have to be mindful that once again, we are sugar addicts. Everything is sugar. This sugar is messing up everything. It's messing up the entire society as a whole, as a people. You know, like junk foods, as I stated before, they are chemically made addicting. So the indications that you are an addict, compulsive overeating. You're constantly eating snack foods, sodas or candies or chewing gum, or you eat when you're excited or happy, or just something as obvious as obesity, or constantly talking or thinking about food. That's a food obsession. If you eat to relieve stress, or if you eat to exert control, or if you eat excessively when depressed and or around menstruation cycle, or if you're unable to stop eating, if you have a history of unsuccessful dieting or abnormal body image pathology, or even if you eat to relieve painful emotional problems, you are in denial about addiction. And then your vibe attracts your tribe. So then you truly, truly, truly socialize with other food addicts. That has to be one of those elements to where we're really ready and able to take a stance outside of ourselves. We're really able to take that stance to be more than what we are trying to be today. I want you all to imagine that the year is actually 2020 and what that's actually going to look like in terms of men not valuing women. These things aren't getting better for women. They're actually getting worse. All of this talk and flexing on timelines about what you would do if you were in a relationship or what a man needs to do to get a woman like you is just absolute utter bullshit. Not me? You said, huh? That's you? Okay. Yes, ma'am. Even you. Let's be honest. You don't want to go out and snatch souls. You actually want to stay with your face in your phone and hope that a man or a person actually drops in your lap. You don't want to test anybody's interest in risking that you'll actually push them away. You want to be low maintenance and pray that it actually brings them closer. You don't want to boss up in a bad relationship. You merely want to learn a few tricks and keep them from leaving. The moment that you actually put the right person in front of a typical type woman, no matter what she reads, she will revert back to her old habits. Why should I ever talk about what people should do to actually get a good woman or be a person of good substance? People of today don't have to do shit because the vast majority of these quote unquote good women are for sale at a discounted price. We have to be realistic around these things. So if you really want the solutions, we can actually go there. One, we truly have to heal. I am a firm believer in Yoni eggs. We have to heal the trauma that is behind the Yoni eggs. Yoni eggs, they are eggs that actually use your yonis as gemstones. So you will look at all areas in your life that actually require healing. You will use those stone and those eggs to help you connect more and to really, really help Earth facilitate your own healing journey. The Yoni egg benefits are unlike any other natural healing choices. This is from past relationships. This is from past trauma. This is from anything that you've probably ever experienced, even when you're just switching up lovers and you're trying to get away from the sexual residue that you have. I know just from prime experience, I've had lovers where you feel them 10 years later. It's like they are flowing through your veins and they're flowing through your blood, and now you're fantasizing. You remember that time when, and you're reminiscing. At the end of the day, you don't want nothing to do with them, but man, they feel good today. Like they feel good today. Why do you still feel them? Us as women, understand that is a life portal. For all my mothers who have brought people into this world, I recommend using Yoni eggs. Yoni eggs increase your libido. They help you get tight. They increase the firmness, the awareness. There's so many different things. And I personally do not have a specific website that I would, best recommend. I definitely just say, go ahead. And this is something lovely to research and to really find what truly works best for you. As you start learning about these beautiful earth gemstones and the list that is listed off to the side with the 25 reasons of why you should be using a Yoni egg, whether you're celibate, whether you're sexually active or non-sexually active, whether you want to really just throw something on your husband or have him remember. This is one of the main components as to really harnessing, one, just your femininity and really understanding what you are here for and how to truly awaken all of those parts within inside of you. If you are ashamed of you, if you are scared of you, if you are, oh, I'm so shy, come on now, stop having sex right now. You have bigger shit that you need to work on and bigger things that you really need to worry about right now than to be giving people this mediocre version as yourself. If you're going to engage in any way, shape, or form, and this is for my men as well. My men, what greater gift is that you can actually give a woman outside of feminine divinity? Purchase a Yoni egg. School her, show her how her body works. What you actually possess is power. What she possesses is power. What you guys come together and actually unite with is absolute power. Fuck roses, fuck Christian Louboutin shoes, forget a bag. None of that even matters any way, shape, or form. What you can do is really help strengthen her to the highest level of herself. That's understanding energy. Once again, going back to the chakras, there's a whole different type of energetic system that works called the Tao. That's called Kundalini. There's all sorts of ancient practices that I definitely recommend everyone really going and engaging in outside of having these mediocre version encounters with all of these random people year by year by year by year, thinking that you got over on them. We have to heal our bodies and awaken that sensuality. So many women in our culture have problems and trouble experiencing orgasms. The main reason for this is a disconnection from the body, especially from down there, especially, due to trauma, like I stated before, or negative emotions stored in that tissue, or growing up in a sexually oppressive culture. Perceived or real abandonment, or simple lack of exercise and attention. Y'all understand, y'all remember the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's real. I have a grandma that ain't had sex in over 45 years. What the hell? I'm not trying to be that person. I'm just not. Let's be honest. I'm not trying to be that person. I want to be able to utilize whatever energy it is and magnify that as a creative outlet for whatever it looks like. My sexuality came out and now it looks like abs. My sexuality came through and it looks like remarkable skin. My sexuality comes out and now it looks like amazing natural hair growth. It is all of the same essences of myself. You don't have to go out and utilize yourself on someone who is low vibrational. When you practice with a yoni egg, you engage those muscles of the vagina and that pelvic floor. That brings that awareness to your sexual organs. Your brain starts to create new neuron connections correlated between the areas of these bodies. So new nerve endings from directly in the tissue, which can increase sensitivity. You will be bomb. I, Tierra, highly recommend the use of yoni eggs. Once again, going into all the different stone types, understanding all that stuff, that is 100% for you to look up, to research, to really find which one truly speaks to you based off of your own experience and what it is that you're trying to attain. I also recommend getting a yoni egg that has a string attached. Make sure you get one that has a string attached, because it won't really get lost, but it can be a little difficult bringing out of that element. So really trying to dig it out of you, you know, like that's definitely one of those elements that I recommend for everyone. Not to mention, you become a lot more orgasmic. So when these people are sitting around, and y'all know it's about to be cuffing season, it's about to be cuffing season, my single people, or it's about to be stress season, my married people, because now it's about to go into the holiday season and so on and so forth. What better way to get yourself through a holiday party and not remember how alone and broken and bitter you are than to show up with a yoni egg on the inside of you that gives you something else to concentrate on in the most insanely uncomfortable spaces of your life. You have to go to these holiday parties and try not to screw your boss that you've been wanting to do for the past however long to get that promotion, because we're in a day and age of where the hoes are winning right now. So things become really tempting when the seasons change. And I'm not saying go out and do some hoe shit. No, I'm definitely not saying that. But I'm saying focus your energy on things that truly matter, that can improve the greater, higher level of yourself. And did you know that women can really experience many different orgasms? Like a lot of different types. Among them are, you can have a vaginal orgasm, you can have a cervical orgasm, you can have a uterine orgasm. Practicing with your yoni egg, that can awaken your body and mind to these life-changing experiences that you never knew were possible. So this is what makes a victorious vagina. This is what puts you in line with yourself. It helps you connect and really heal your sacral parts of yourself. So if you're not into these rocks, or you think that it's beneath you, okay, keep on. I can say this is one of the very first steps into mastering yourself, mastering your sexuality, mastering and valuing your vagina, because this is a major, major, major issue. We're walking around with these little hot pockets of trauma, giving it away, and now the generations to come are walking around at lower levels of themselves, and the kids are actually walking around all jacked up and don't know nothing, all because they came out of these portals that are not connected. That's not eczema. That's you not being connected with yourself. If you notice how stirring emotions actually work with your egg, I have 3 personally. I have a rose quartz one, and rose quartz is all about love and healing and kindness and pretty and all that. Okay, I have an obsidian. Obsidian is one of the highest, most protective stones humanly possible. Those are for when I actually have those dark nights, or a lower level of myself, or when I've tried to escape myself through another person, all of their energy, which was released inside of me. And they go deep. A lot of us, come on now, let's be honest, being able to be knocked into next week, that's something that, we all kind of look forward to, or not we all. Some people don't like to be pounded that way, but I know there's specific people that can definitely get that job done. What do you do after they're done? What do you do after you don't even want to deal with them at all anyway? You still feel them, and you still crave that. You have to kill it. Obsidian, that kills everything. Any type of sexual trauma, anything. Obsidian is one of my favorite stones ever to work with. So I have an obsidian, I have a rose quartz, and then I have a smoky jade. So definitely go ahead. I use them all for different, whenever I switch lovers, whatever the case may be. I'm unwed. I am not married. So therefore, yeah, once you are on this planet for, a little while, you do some things. So after you're done doing those things, it's all about how do you truly connect those things. So really, let's get into these Yoni eggs. I'm trying to tell you, they are magical things. So once again, I believe practicing with your Yoni egg, this is the key to the fibromyalgia. I believe fibromyalgia is from trauma of the cells. That trauma in your cells still lives in there. This is one way that a lot of my women can actually work through their hysterectomies or work through their any type of chronic pain that people are dealing with on a regular basis. I am a firm believer that the Yoni egg is the key to all of that. It puts you in tune with yourself. So once again, let's move on. Yoni eggs, first and foremost, we have to heal, we have to cleanse, we have to rid ourselves before we're able to master ourselves. We have to be able to truly connect. If anybody who really wants to go into these a lot more, because it's a whole nother course all within inside of itself on just healing that type of sexual trauma. But this is one of the main first and foremost things that I definitely recommend. Solutions for him. Now, ladies, a lot of the times we have to trick them. We have to, okay, for my fellas, I'm gonna tell you like this. Eating fruits and vegetables are the way. Eating fruits and vegetables are the way of the world. Understanding that what you have, what your dick is, what your penis is, I'm a raw person, y'all, so I'm gonna stop sugarcoating. What this truly is, this is blood flow, blood circulation. If anybody who has ever had a sexual experience with a plant-based eater, okay, so let's just look at nature right now. Let's look at nature. What's stronger? What's going to die quicker? Is it going to be the ox or is it going to be the tree? Which one's more vulnerable to nature? I think the ox is it's gonna lose. You know, like, yeah, it can run fast, yeah, but at the end of the day, that tree stands strong. Look at the tree, look at a vegan. Look at a plant-based lifestyle. Look at someone who only eats from the earth. That is definitely one of those elements of what is true and what is real. If you are in charge of a husband, if you are in charge of a lover, if you are the homemaker of your home, understanding how to get him to his highest potential is definitely key. Tamarind is a solution for that. That contains so many different great anti-cholesterol properties. So understanding why, you know, what is it called that the men, when they can't get it up, everything, I keep hearing fertility in my brain. Impotence, there we go. What happens when impotence actually takes over? It's only because your blood vessels are clogged. So the blood can't get to where it needs to get to because you think that you are a meat and potatoes person. If you are the woman who is engaging this meat and potatoes type person, you don't know how good it can get either. This is one of those things that will definitely heighten all of that. Also, eat and drink things that look like blood. That's what we're working on. So all things red, not to mention all things red, it helps with that sacral chakra as well, as we looked at in the previous slide, all of those different red foods. That is a thing. God kind of thought of everything and he color-coded everything. So tamarind, if you open a fresh tamarind, it looks like a penis. It's veiny. It has little seeds on the inside. When I tell you you are what you eat, this is one of the major things. So if you want a nice little special night, and mind you guys, nothing in nature is ever rushed, yet and still everything gets accomplished. So this is going to be a gradual thing. You know, like an extreme healing requires extreme commitment. So you definitely have to make that commitment to yourself. You definitely have to make that commitment to really heal, because it's not instant. You didn't get to this place of impotence instantly. You didn't get to this place, and why not experience the best, the most heightened experience that you possibly can sexually, the strongest as well. We're out here, a lot of men are walking around trying to flex their power and what they are and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, you really don't mean shit when you just got one round. It just doesn't work. If you just have one round in you, come on now. Like, what's that doing? That's not establishing nothing lasting. You know, like, so definitely go ahead and start incorporating tamarind juice. If you don't know, go and buy a box. The box is like $4 at a farmer's market or at your local whatever, or at the end of the day, Amazon delivers everything. I always tell people, just go straight to Amazon. And like, Amazon makes life so much easier. We don't have to be out here in these streets just scavenging, looking for things in order to make our husbands, our partners, or whatever, our boyfriends, whatever it is, have a good time so they can screw us right. No, let's go ahead and upgrade this completely around the board. Let go of the Simply Lemonade and start incorporating tamarind. That's going to help everything. It also helps strengthening your immune system. Figs look like scrotums. They look like balls. You are what you eat. There is no reason. And I'm giving you these solutions for him because a lot of people are walking around with fertility issues. A lot of the times the woman is not the problem. A lot of the times it is, sir, your little army. They ain't strong, you know, like they're just not strong. They're not marching the way that they truly need to march. So really understanding how we can get to spaces of just betterment. Figs, learn how to cook with them, learn how to throw them in salads, eat dry, juice them, do whatever it is. The Google internet is filled with all sorts of beautiful solutions for that. I definitely recommend people, once again, meat. So many people ask me, Tierra, why can't I eat meat? You can eat meat. You can eat whatever it is that you want. I'm talking about the greatest version of yourself. It's not actually engaging in, you know, eating dead animal corpses. You know, meat consumption or, you know, the eating of dead animal corpses is somewhere overlooked and it's unquestioned. Eating meat is more of a religious belief than a nutritional belief. Meat is not a complete protein. Beans, nuts, and seeds combinations prove what a complete protein truly is. Mass media has focused upon meat's protein value. However, there are some other dimensions to it. Like, of course, in African cultures, doing things a certain way and rituals and ceremonies and all that stuff. But that wasn't something that we did 2-3 times a day, every single day. That is where the real problems really lie within inside of ourselves. We consume things and we do not let them out. It is believed that it is safer to eat animals than it is to eat vegetables, rather than to eat animals that eat animals. We don't do that. We have to really, really get away from that space because biological magnification of or accumulated of toxins, those are chemicals and they are diseases waiting to occur. So when one animal eats another animal, subsequently, animals such as fish, scavengers, crabs, snails, lobsters, and especially pigs and pork and all that stuff, they're labeled highly unsafe and unclean to eat. All animal corpses are contaminated with bacteria and infested, all of them. So there is no, oh, it's grass-fed, so this is better. Not that it's grass-fed, they all die the exact same. It's the purification of all of the animal flesh, chicken, cattle, lamb, fish, which causes it to be tender. We have to go away from that stuff. So it's not about if you get sick, it's when you get sick. Probiotics. Understanding one of the major solutions to women in their pH balances, women and their issues, men and their issues. So the first two, this is the cure. You hear me? This is the cure to bacterial vaginosis, to yeast infections, to hemorrhoids, to urinary tract infections. These are things that you should have in your medicine cabinet, and these are things that you should be ingesting on a daily basis. So this is one of the have in your cabinet 101. You don't have to have both. Of course, in this slide, I put up a few different pictures for people to just engage in, but that one in the middle, yes, especially if you are having vaginal problems, reoccurring bacterial vaginosis, whether that is from dirty sexual partners, and no matter what we want them to be, it's what our bodies are saying that they truly are. And it's not us. It could be the products that they're using or consuming, or the things that they're eating and digesting. You know, a lot of the times it's not us. Our vaginas are fine until somebody else comes along and throws it off. But we think that we love them enough for our pH balance to be thrown off. I'm sorry. No, I don't want that. I don't want to walk around smelling like chicken of the sea. That's just not okay. That is not cool. I don't want to walk around smelling like I have a hot bag of wet pennies in my drawers either. We're walking around smelling like little armpits. That's an issue. That's a major, major issue. If you sweat, and I get it, you know, things get trapped up in there and so on and so forth. A lot of my church ladies walk around with nylon on, thinking that I'm doing Jesus a service. At the end of the day, you're trapping any sort of circulation to even be able to flourish through your vagina. So you're suffocating nature. You're suffocating God, trying to be holy. No disrespect, but you might want to invest in some thigh highs or some knee highs or something else where, you know, your little flower can flourish, because, you know, you do it now, and growing up in church and having a hysterectomy, by the time you're in your 30s and 40s, nobody's seeing the correlation. That's a huge correlation. It is a synthetic fiber, the same way as these tampons and the pads and all of these suppositories that we're putting inside, and we're taught, you know, hey, you're supposed to walk around smelling like FDS floral Hawaiian flowers. No, it's fucking up everything. And now the hysterectomy rate is rising, especially within the brown people community. So definitely, people, invest in a great probiotic. This will keep off all sorts of different types of things, you know, like understanding using various products in and on your vagina. It will, and throw off your pH balance. You know, like your body actually has a natural defense fighting bacteria built into it. So get healthy and it will fight it off for you. When you intervene, you mess up everything and you kill off the good bacteria. So even if you do go ahead and take a measure of taking an antibiotic and just flushing your entire body, because, you know, sometimes you just need the antibiotic, and Clorox cleanup, you know, sometimes it gets it way better than any type of vinegar could kill anything. Sometimes you just need the Clorox cleanup and the scrubbing bubbles to just get in there and just knock it all out. I understand. But it's all about replenishing the good that was actually wiped away, as well as the bad. So when you kill off all that good bacteria, like antibiotics actually does, you open up the flood door for yeast infections. You open up the flood door for any type of sexually transmitted disease. Whatever it is that you're opening up, you do that. So we have to, once again, take responsibility and understand what we are doing. This last one on the end, Mr. Tobias, this deep immune, this is one of just the best every single day, good gut defense type of probiotic as well, because everybody knows, especially looking back at that chakra energetic center, 90% of all chronic diseases start in the gut. So if it starts in the gut, imagine what it does to your lady parts. And then when everybody's sitting around giving each other bad advice, because everybody walking around with these little smelly little life vehicle hallways in between their doors, wondering why can't nobody choose you. Can't nobody smell you. You're not even, we got to get together, y'all. We got to get it together. This is a very, very, very needed and wanted topic, not to mention my coffee drinkers. My people who walk around indulging in adult beverages more than 3 times a week. I believe anything's okay in moderation. We have to learn the balance as it goes in. We have to fight that much more to get it out. Otherwise, it will stay embedded and it will definitely cause all sorts of issues within inside of ourselves. So understanding, once again, what that balance truly is. Here are some solutions to getting back the balance. These are natural hormonal balancers. So for all of my women who are experiencing menopause, or a lot of my women that are walking around experiencing hysterectomies or anything, PMS, whatever it is that you're experiencing, these are great herbal solutions. And once again, these are things that I actually have in my personal my personal collection, because, you know, I'm all about preventative care. I don't want something to happen to me for me to try to fight it. I want to prevent everything before it actually comes on. So I am all about the balance. I started my menstrual cycle at the age of 8. So I became sexually active at the age of 12. So understanding, I've been on birth control since I was 11 years old, before I was even sexually active, because they couldn't figure out why this little 8-year-old is walking around looking like a grown woman. I was put on all sorts of different things, not realizing that it was a hormonal imbalance. So been struggling with a huge hormonal imbalance the majority of my life. That's how I actually got to be this Tierra person, because I was tired of struggling with myself. I was tired of trying to figure out how to really navigate through myself. What is this? What am I going through? How come I want to kill myself? Why can't my brain work? Why do I have all these extreme mood swings? And it's not just because I'm a Pisces and I think that I am a magical unicorn flower fairy. No, it's real life systematic things that are going on in my body. So I definitely recommend this to everybody who's experiencing all sorts of different issues with inside of their bodies, of just really getting to a great safe space of learning how to balance everything, because that is where the problems come in. And that's where things truly start to lie, is within the balance. The balance is off. Our pH balance is off. How did I ended up smelling like this? How did I end up getting like this? The condom could have thrown off your balance, because condom jacked me up. Like, I had to stop. I thought I was allergic. I thought I'm allergic to everything. I thought I was allergic with the condom, without the condom, whatever it is. I was like, look, I just can't be out here doing this, because I'm far too sensitive. I'm lathering myself up in Dove unscented sensitive skin soaps and all sorts of, I only wear cotton underwear, and I'm washing my undergarments in baby laundry detergent. Like, none of that works, because yes, I can go and get an antibiotic and then come back the next 3 days and I only got 3 days and I'm clear. I'm sorry. I actually have things to do with this here vagina situation, and I don't want it to be sick all the time. So how do I master this? This is how I personally got to these spaces of understanding the balance is in the body. Understanding that these 2 supplements, and the Health Concerns Women Balance, for my gentlemen that are a part of this webinar, there's a man one as well. But that's not okay. This is great just for circulation. It's a good cardio, just basically allowing the oxygen, the water to truly get to your cells, to get to your hormones, to balance out everything. So anybody experiencing this, whether that is an increased hair of the chin, all this type of stuff, it's all because of hormonal imbalance. Understanding that meat and dairy are huge contributors to all of this. The last time I personally got bacteria vaginosis is I was learning how to drink beer. Couldn't figure out, like, well, you know, I can't drink alcohol anymore because my body pretty much rejects that, but I still like to be drunk, and I still like to be, you know, lost and have a nice adult beverage, and I don't want to let go of my social environment. So I just thought that, you know, I would be all right if I just drank beer, not realizing beer is nothing but wheat and yeast. That is what was throwing off my entire body. Be mindful. You can't escape anything. You are what you eat in real life. So I definitely recommend people, and I'm not saying go and purchase all of this stuff. I'm just saying use this webinar as different points in knowing that there is another way. There are alternative things outside of the westernized medicine and medical practices and all of that stuff. There is another way to actually go about it. Cleansers, yay! These are the things that I definitely recommend everybody go ahead and start taking a look at and really engage in how to properly cleanse yourself. So this first one, the vagina therapy, this I just purchased probably about 2 to 3 months ago. When I say I am in love with this thing, like in love, it's a nice little foam cleanser. It makes you feel all awesome and all amazing. It is, I honestly would say I have one of the most sensitive vaginas on the entire planet, you know, like, and leave it up to the doctors. The doctors would just let you believe that you just have, you know, the most sensitive vagina on the entire planet, and yours just so happens to be the bad one. And that's just not the case. That's not how things truly work. That is not what you are actually up against. Understanding that that is not it. No, you have to find a great cleanser. I definitely recommend anybody who's super sensitive or has issues or hormonal or whatever the case may be, try this specific product. It is on NiniOrganics.com. This is the one that I have personally in my shower right now. Other people are saying a lot. I don't have any personal experience with honey pot, but a lot of people are really enjoying that as well. I appreciate honey pot in their line because they have a very extensive line. So this is for something for our little yonis. So they have a feminine hygiene cleanser for younger girls so they can understand their anatomy and how to truly wash that thing out the way that they can and handle it delicately. Because nobody told me at the age of 13, 14 how Irish Spring was going to burn me up. Like, I had no idea. I'm thinking I'm about to walk around smelling zestfully clean, not realizing like, oh no, I'm about to set myself on fire, not understanding how these things are. So mothers, grandmothers, aunties, whatever it is, I think these are perfect gift ideas, especially with the new holiday season about to approach, for people to really get a grip on understanding and being okay with the female anatomy. Get your girls, get your little people this body wash, this feminine hygiene wash. It's really, really, really great. And you can find that at Whole Foods, on Amazon. You can find it everywhere. So definitely go ahead. This Baby Mild Dr. Bronner soap. I am an advocate for Dr. Bronner's. Like, I have Dr. Bronner's citrus. I have Dr. Bronner's lavender for nighttime wash. I have Dr. Bronner's eucalyptus and tea tree for my hair when I shampoo it. I have the peppermint. I have just about all of them. This specific one, this one is a mild soap for people who are even more sensitive to whatever type of ailments, but this one's a very, very mild, so very gentle. This is the baby one. It's unscented. So if anybody's still, is kind of skeptical and just trying to find another product to truly use, I definitely recommend any 3 of these products. And once again, this webinar is to guide you. This is to show you different things and to show you another way outside of the things that we've already learned. I believe that one of the biggest things that we can actually come through within life is to just unlearn what we've already learned. So these are other products that we can definitely start utilizing, washing our bodies with. And the Dr. Bronner's is what I actually wash my entire body with. So I don't fear if a little bit of soap creeps down yonder. Like, that's one of those things where we have to be mindful of where these things actually go and how they get displaced within our bodies and within our anatomies. So understanding how that stuff all truly, truly works hand in hand together and being okay with it, like really being okay with where it actually goes. So I definitely recommend these cleansers. Urinary tract infections. Problem number 1, you drink too much. You drink too much. So you drink too much, it's either beer, it's either alcohol, it's either caffeine, it is either any sort of fluorescent beverage, it is either sugar induced, high fructose corn syrup induced. These are 2 supplements that will knock it out. 1, you have to flood yourself with water. The reason why your bladder got infected, your urinary tract got infected, because it does not have enough water flowing through it. So if you just came from vacation and it was way too many adult beverages, okay, cool. Once again, it's all about balance. These are really, really, really great supplements that definitely come in throughout like a crisis intervention situation. So understanding ocean spray is not the answer. Ocean spray will not help you. Ocean spray is chemically induced sugar water. That is not going to knock out your urinary tract infection. My mother is a strong, I don't think she has them anymore, but she suffered with urinary tract infections to where I thought that was so common, like the common cold. Now that I am this here and I'm all things plant-based, earth lover, I realize, Mom, you're addicted to damn Mountain Dew. That's the issue. It's not your urinary tract infection. You don't have no bladder problem. It's the fact of, hey, you drink a fluorescent beverage every single day just to get you up and going. That's why your blood don't work. That's why you have to go and get a blood transfusion. And she thinks that she's healthy. Like, she really does think that she's healthy, and her body's just that special that she just gets these chronic urinary tract infections because her vagina is just that good to where she can't do anything. No, Mom. you have a caffeine and sugar addiction, and you drink Mountain Dew every single day you go to work. So at least 5 days out of a week, you drink a damn Mountain Dew and a Dr. Pepper. What? Now we walking around thinking that we just a generation of just sensitive vagina having ass women, when at the end of the day, no, my mother's a sugar addict. So if my mother's a sugar addict, I was a sugar addict. So I'm walking around with this highly infested bacteria vaginosis having vagina, not realizing like, so you just might want to lay up off the Kool-Aid. That might help you. Ain't nobody say that. Nobody said that. Nobody said it. I'm able to joke about it now because I figured out another way. I'm like, yo, so I've just been listening to everybody all this time, and this is not getting me where I really need to go because, like I said, I have things to really do. So if you really want to have this victorious vagina, you have to understand the mechanics of it. You have to understand how it truly works and get ahead of the game, not wait until something happens. Get ahead of it. Urinary tract infections. Also get some antibiotics. If you are going to kill it off, you don't need the flagell. You do not need any of those things that will chronically give you a yeast infection after you take that to knock out the urinary tract infection. It's just like now you're walking around with the itchies and the scratchies, and that is just not the way either. You know, like we're all out here just jacked up trying to figure out how to actually do it. The number one antibiotic that I definitely would say everybody should have in their medicine cabinet and really just keep on deck at all times, and even do it on a weekly thing. Just make yourself a nice little tincture of some things of just saying, okay, you know, like, let me just do this for preventative care. No, ain't nothing wrong, but I'm not trying to wait for anything to go wrong either. Colloidal silver. This is one of the main components that strengthens your immune system. This strengthens and kills breast cancer cells. You know, like it aids with skin problems, and it basically just comes in and kills everything. I definitely say don't overdose on it. Like I said, 2 to 3 times a week, depending upon what you're dealing with. But once again, this information is for you to go and research all on yourself. Really understand how to go around those things. Also, oil of oregano, and these things are not pictured, but I want to speak on everything because I don't want it to just be a webinar where people can just flip through like, well, I didn't even need Tierra to talk. No, some of these things aren't even in the picture. Oil of oregano is definitely one of the biggest, hugest natural antibiotics humanly possible. Red raspberry tea. That definitely will help a lot of people with their menstrual cycles and any type of chronic pain, or just basically trying to rid out blood or any sort of things that they're dealing with. Dandelion. I definitely recommend golden seal. And you see this pictured as well with echinacea and golden seal. Echinacea and golden seal, this is one of the most highest potent natural antibiotics humanly possible. It's also great for preventative care. Echinacea builds up your natural immune system on unparalleled levels. So if you don't incorporate echinacea on a regular basis, I definitely recommend everyone going ahead and purchasing them some echinaceas. It comes in tea, it comes in capsules, it comes in tinctures, it comes in all sorts of different things, but especially with the up and coming cold and flu season about to approach, or if anybody's a heavy traveler, or just once again, preventative care. Say you about to go and do some whole things this weekend, make sure you definitely, your immune system is built up to the highest capacity humanly possible. Grapefruit seed extract. This is one supplement that I truly take, and I take it overseas. You never know what type of water you're going to drink. This is one of those things that kills just about every single virus that possibly could be going on the inside of you. So if you are experiencing body odor, or, you know, once again, like I said, these vaginas walking around smelling like armpits or penny pockets, you know, this is one of those things that kills any type of virus. You know, once again, with gradual, nature takes its time, but it kills parasites and all sorts of candida. That's one of the main things that people are experiencing in today's society. It's not, you know, cold. It's basically a candida overdose because we're drugged and we're sugared and all sorts of things. So I definitely recommend now, okay, like now, I have it in a liquid form, and you, as you see in the little picture that's a part of this meme, woo, that's rough, y'all. It's real rough. I can't even play. Like, it's rough to swallow. It is really, really rough. It's very effective, but it is rough to swallow. So I definitely recommend going and getting the capsules. Make sure they are vegan capsules. Anytime you are consuming a supplement, make sure it's a veggie, vegan cap preferably, because if it is in gelatin, that is animal residue. Like that's animal joints, basically. That's what gelatin is. So we kind of want to stay away from gelatin, especially when we're trying to get healthy. I don't understand why they're putting healthy stuff inside of unhealthy things. That's one of the things with this $1 trillion industry of health and awareness. So make sure you definitely go and get you a vegan capsule. But these are amazing, amazing antibiotics. There's so many others. You can find myrtle oil. You can start incorporating rosemary, and that comes in a tea or oil or a tincture. You can definitely start incorporating basil, kelp. Kelp is a huge component when it comes down to thyroid problems, vaginal problems, any of those things. So definitely start incorporating those things. BV and yeast solutions. Okay, here is your answer, and it is 100% all natural. Anybody who is dealing with bacteria vaginosis, who does not want to keep taking antibiotics, one, hop up off the dirty dicks, and we won't have those problems. Okay, so that's going to be step one. Secondly, here is a solution. Come up off of the processed foods. You won't have these problems. And I know people would, oh, Tierra, it's easier said than done. Yeah, because we're addicts and we're in a society of addicts, and there is a toxic lifestyle that feeds the tumors, and it feeds those tumors that are in the wombs. It feeds the breasts and it feeds other parts of the body. However, if we change to a natural, flesh-free, and limited starch diet, we as a whole, as a community, can prevent growths and diseases found in the vagina and in the breast and throughout the entire body temple. Understanding mangoes and papaya, coconut water, ginger, sorrel, honeydew, celery, parsnip, and cucumber, plus leafy greens, everybody. Eat things that grow in abundance. These make our wombs absolutely supreme. It makes it supreme, not just mediocre. It makes it supreme. If you are single and you are out here in these streets and you have never experienced a I wouldn't even say vegetarian. If you've never experienced a vegan lover, go ahead and have a life experience. Go find you one. That gives you something, a new goal to actually aspire to have. And I'm just being realistic. There is nothing like it on the entire planet. Not just me speaking. I am speaking and now able to actually teach an entire class on how to make your coochie better. In every way, I figured out some things. So I think I know some things when it comes down to things. I've also had vegan lovers. My partner now is vegan. Understanding it is levels to this thing. It is levels to humanity. It is levels to corporate America. It's levels to the monetary system. It's levels to everything. This right here is one of the natural solutions to bacterial vaginosis. There's a link right here that I included, and I couldn't find a picture to accompany it. This is a private link that I have for my doula bag. If nobody knows, I am a doula. So I work with mommies and vaginas and, natural ways of life of women looking to conceive after conception, after birth, all of that stuff. I'm dealing with these people on a regular basis. So understanding this is one of those links that are a part of my doula bag. Clicking that specific link, it will take you to a website. That website will allow you to buy a holistic way of curing your bacterial vaginosis. I recommend everybody purchasing a few of them, and they're like $8. Purchase a few of them just to keep on hand. These are suppositories. So you insert them inside of you, and then after that, it knocks out the smell, it knocks out anything potential that was about to set you up to harm you. So even if you did go and do, something, and I definitely do not say this is not a solution. This is all about the preventative care of things actually coming on. But yeast infections, bacteria infections is all because there is an overgrowth of bacteria. So you messed up somewhere. We have to, we already covered, we have to stop being in denial about specific things and really take that responsibility, because the truth isn't something that we're using to shame one another, but it's rather a way of revealing us more completely so we can better love one another. We have to be loving to ourselves first. Also, these tea tree suppositories, I definitely recommend those, and they're a little different. They're definitely not like a complete solution, but it takes away the smell. And sometimes you just need the damn smell gone. Like, you just need the smell. You don't want to walk around smelling like that. This is one of those things that definitely help, but this is more of a rinse off, not necessarily an actual solution. The other two, the V Fresh and then the Link, those are actual solutions holistically to bacteria vaginosis and yeast infections, only if you come off of the cow growth baby liquid formula. Like I said, your body cannot thrive in an acidic environment, people. It will not work that way. And at the end of the day, the dairy system is injected with all sorts of hormones, allergens, antibiotics, all of that stuff. Our bodies are responding in a way, but we keep ignoring it because we like pizza and we don't want to give up cheese. Come on now. We have to rise to our higher selves and really be okay with what we are doing with inside of our existence, because we're more than what we truly are. Once again, if anybody has had a hysterectomy, or if anybody is experiencing menopause or fibromyalgia, these tea tree suppositories, that will definitely help and soothe your comfort. Also, it builds up a natural alkalinity within inside of your vaginal cavity as well. So if my fellas are out here and there's someone that just don't quite smell right, and you really see the potential within this person, or you really want them to be a promising leveler, this is something that you can definitely go ahead and just purchase and just kind of have on deck. But it's definitely not an instant thing. It's going to take a couple of days, just like anything else. So just be patient and be mindful, and know that any type of thing it is that you're trying to do, just allow it to really, really, really be at its best capacity. Moisture. Now it's time to get it wet. Let's get it wet. Okay. This specifically is for my older ladies, my hysterectomies, my texture smells, my fibromyalgia, anybody who's having a problem with vaginal wetness, or say you cool, you all right, you average, and you just really want to make it stupid, dumb, gushy. This is for my people who have promising partners, or sometimes you just want to go ahead and just throw and spring something amazing on somebody. The omega-7 is the key. Get you some sea buckthorn. That is going to definitely be the major component. That is that hidden ingredient. When it comes down to sea, think about sea life. Think about what sea is. Seaweed, it's ocean, it's water, it's moisture. You want things that hold moisture. I'm also going to say this in addition to the fruits and the vegetables that are just like the sea. So anything that is super juicy and ripe and looks like a boob or a butt, or anything that you can even sexualize when it comes down to the natural world. Look at coconuts. What do those look like? Those look like boobs or testicles. Either way it goes, you know, like, you can definitely do some things with these fruits. This stuff is here on purpose. The picture that is in the middle. Okay, so this is my, once again, Tierra's personal experience of how moisture truly goes. I had a party once upon a time. It was like a moving out party or something like that. I had a fruit tray. After this party was over, I said, well, I don't want all of this fruit to actually go to waste. So what am I going to do? Let me go ahead and really just juice all of this stuff. So I had honeydew, cantaloupe, and watermelon left over. Now, y'all heard Beyonce say I was drinking watermelon. Everybody's like, well, what she mean? I don't get it. What she mean by she drinking watermelon? Okay. Beyonce know them tricks. Beyonce got a billionaire and a billionaire baby that came out of this. Beyonce knows some things. Her mama is Creole, her dad, Louisiana, all this stuff, Alabama, whatever case maybe, she knows some secrets. So when it came down to these here vaginas and how to make it stupid dumb gushy wet, stupid dumb like explosive, the key is within the fruit. This fruit is not giving y'all diabetes. Cut it out. Ain't nobody getting diabetes because of watermelon. Ain't nobody getting diabetes because of honeydew. You're not getting diabetes that way. What the doctor said, well, the doctor ain't gonna tell you how to please your man either. The doctor ain't gonna tell you. The doctor knows medicine. They are a medical practitioner. So they know medicine. So when it comes down to this earth magical greatness, that's not what they were taught in school. That's not what they learned. Look at the cantaloupe. Look at the honeydew. I think that kind of looks like your vagina and your womb and all the eggs that would have possibly been in there had we not had, you know, monthly cycles every single month. But I think that kind of looks like us. You can kind of, you know, sexualize about it. So you are what you eat. If you want to be gushy, if you want to have an insane libido, if you want your moisture rate to be on 59 million trillion, here you go. God thought of everything. God thought of absolutely everything. Not to mention, it is about the water intake as well. If you are not aiming for 1 gallon of water a day, and I recommend putting lemon in it or putting lime in it, because that definitely helps alkaline your pH balance as well. It definitely neutralizes everything. If you've had some adult beverages that specific day, okay, you had your adult beverages, you poured poison into your body. How are you going to get the poison out? Because the poison is going to come out in some way, shape, or form. It might come out in a bad attitude. It might come out with your mood swing. It might come out in constipation. It might come out with dark circles under your eyes. It's going to come out in some way, shape, or form. Let's just go ahead and just flush it out completely. Put you some lemons and limes in there and definitely neutralize everything that's going on in your body before it starts to become something that is setting yourself up to harm you. So definitely the honeydew, the cantaloupe, the watermelon. That was the day that I realized my vagina could squirt. I said, oh, whoa, whoa, what did I do? What did I do different? Because that ain't pee. And for those, you know, people who think that it's pee or I don't believe in it, okay, that's fine. You don't believe in it. I'm magical now. And I'm magical because I had me some honeydew, cantaloupe, and water. And you have your beliefs and I have my beliefs. And I'm definitely, and Beyonce got her beliefs too. So that's how we're going to leave that. And I'm a nana and a boo-boo on everybody after that. So going over to the last picture that I actually have, ladies who's experienced hysterectomies and fibromyalgia and real chronic pain and problems, or just basically having all sorts of moisture issues. These Asians, and I'm not being racist, y'all, but they didn't figure out some things. They're not dying like we dying. They're not going out the way that we dying. They're not going out that way. So we definitely have to kind of pay attention because they figured out some things with these herbs and these magical plants. This is an Asian, and I can't even say it. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that word, but y'all see the picture. You see the brand, and now you know what to actually go and look for. That will help you balance everything and increase that moisture as well. But as well with that increased moisture, definitely got to go onto that hormonal and the libido booster. I credit maca root for an instant libido booster. Maca root, this increased fertility. So anybody who is trying to conceive or get pregnant or whatever it is, goes for men and women. This is a superfood. It is great when it comes down to your exercise intake. It's a booster. I do not recommend this for single people who are out here in these streets. Your libido will be thumping like an elephant's heartbeat. I learned this on accident. I was taking maca thinking that it was matcha tea, and I'm walking around like, what is wrong with me? Hot flashes, all sorts of stuff. Like I just wanted to pounce on anything with 2 legs and a heartbeat that week. Could not figure out what I actually did wrong. Oh, I kind of overdosed on maca powder. This is also a hormone regulator. So this is a balancer. This is one of those things that comes in and really balances everything else. So once again, this will increase your stamina. This will be one of those things that you can spike your husband's drinks with. Here, babe, I made you a hot chocolate, or I made you a nice little smoothie. If you dilute anything with peanut butter and banana, you can put anything in that because that is the flavor that takes over everything. So if you do peanut butter and banana and throw it with some chocolate, coconut milk, that's always my I'm about to psych everybody out type concoction. So if I'm ever hosting you and entertaining you and I bring out a peanut butter and banana smoothie, I am spiking you and I'm trying to get us to do something else. It might not be on no sexual stuff, but I'm trying to shift your energy. Just know that. But that is an easy way that everybody can really, really learn how to ingest these things without it being a bad experience or anything like that. So maca, definitely start looking up and understanding the medicinal benefits of what maca actually does. It comes in a powder, it comes in a capsule, it comes in a tincture. So you can find it in so many different ways. So definitely learn the benefits of maca powder, because, you know, it definitely does beautiful, beautiful, beautiful things. So understanding that is one of the main things, especially if you're dealing with chronic low, you just can't get it up, you're just not in the mood, or you wish you were in the mood and it's just not getting there. Understanding there's things that truly, truly help you out. Your fertility and flow. So fertility issues, or you just want to make sure maybe you had an abortion. Maybe you want to make sure your cervical cavity is the best that it possibly can be. Maybe you had, you know, different cesareans. Maybe you have multiple children. It's not about what you did, it's about how you build things back. So yes, you got cut open. So that's the reason why you still have the stomach fat, or, you know, that's your reason why. The reason why is if you really wanted it gone, you could get it gone. What are you really trying to do to rid yourself of those things? Folic acid is one of the #1 things, and I definitely recommend people to actually look up foods that are rich in folic acid. Start drinking them, start consuming them, start really digesting those foods on a regular basis, because the folic acid is the key to really increasing your fertility. So anybody who's having fertility issues, or if you're having fibroid issues, a lot of these things can definitely be combated if we build up our intake of folic acid. This specific brand, I definitely recommend. You can definitely heighten the dosage. There's so many different things, but this brand in particular, I trust, I recommend. Menstrual Magic. That is one of those things, instead of Midol, that helps that aspect. So it relieves menstrual cramps or any other type of chronic pain that people are experiencing, that bloating, that nausea, that headache. That is one of those, you know, because we're dealing with a lot of things when it comes down to our flows and our, once again, our vaginas. We have no idea, thinking that that stuff is okay. Men, if you know that your partner is doing something and she's always on Midol, she's always miserable or something like that, this is one thing in a holistic way that you can actually buy for her, purchase for her, even if it's your mother, your sister, your auntie, that can help navigate her to a healthier existence throughout that time as well. But once again, nature does not work with death. So if you are consuming, you know, processed foods and meats and cow growth baby liquid formula on a regular basis, that is counterintuitive, counteractive to everything that I am telling you. It will not work. It will not work. Slow flow. The second item that is in this particular picture. This definitely helps for people who are dealing with excess bleeding, or excuse me, not excess bleeding, excessive bleeding, excessive bleeding, who has a very heavy cycle or anything like that, or maybe new mothers afterwards. You know, blood clots are definitely, that is fine. Blood clots during your cycle are fine. It's, you know, the itching, burning, and foul smelling discharges that are a problem. So be mindful of those things. Slow flow is definitely a ailment that will definitely help navigate and slow down just the flow of that blood circulation. So Dong Quai, I think that's how you pronounce it. This is also one of the major contributors to really helping navigate through just a healthier essence of yourself and through fertility and so on and so forth. Like whether you are a man or a woman, like Dong Quai will improve your health in so many different ways. It balances estrogen levels. Dong Quai is the premier gynecological regulator. It has the ability to reduce your estrogen levels if they are too high and increase them if they are too low. So this is a natural toner as well. So it's an excellent blood tonic. It definitely helps just get everything pumping and flowing on a regular basis. It is definitely helpful after injury or any type of surgery, just to basically replenish those red blood cells and increase that blood volume. So it definitely treats any type of iron deficiency. It boosts male fertility. So understanding how this actually works, once again, just as a regulator all the way around the board. It's essential during and after menstruation, because it is that thing that eases cramps and any other symptoms of PMS, because it dilutes your blood to increase the flow during your monthly cleanse. So women who stop taking birth control pills, you might find that using this specific herb is useful to encounter a regular cycle. So this definitely helps you feel happier too. Like, this is something that I've been on probably the past 2 years of just understanding, like, okay, let me just try some different things. I'm learning about all of this stuff, but this is definitely one thing that I contribute. I have a 1-day cycle. And once again, you guys can learn about that if you go ahead and purchase my Master Your Menstrual webinar that I did a few months ago. That's available on TierraGoesGreen.com. That goes a lot more into just the menstrual cycles and the flows and the blood and what the blood means and all of those elements. But this also is an herb that definitely just keeps you youthful. You know, like Chinese women, they are known for their age-defying youthfulness, and that might be a big part of it. You know, like, once again, I said these Asians, they kind of know some things when it comes down to these herbs. So it increases circulation and it improves your complexion, and it just aids in all sorts of detoxification processes. So I definitely recommend this specific herb for that reason. It does so many different things. And of course, you know, like, some things that you do not use, like if you have had any type of breast cancer, or if you are pregnant or nursing, or any type of woman with endometriosis, uterine fibroids, or ovaries or uterus, like, be careful. I don't want to recommend. I don't know. Like, I don't know all the answers. I do not know. You definitely want to go ahead and schedule a talk with the actual neuropath, just to make sure that this is something that you can participate in. So I definitely recommend that specific herb all the way across the board for everybody. False unicorn. Okay. This is one of those herbs that I found because, of course, it said unicorn. So I'm like, what does this mean? What does this mean? This is the magical herb. This definitely helps with birth control. It helps with blood regulation. It helps with hormonal balance. It helps with fertility. It's one of those magical herbs. So I don't want to say too much about it, because I want you to take the time to go ahead and embrace these things and look them all up on your own and seek your own understanding of these things. Don't just be well, Tierra said, no, no, no. Tierra said you had to read. Tierra said you had to do some work. Tierra said nothing works but work. So I want you to really go ahead and indulge in these things and really just find out the beauty behind what God truly put here already for us. Smells, you guys. Smells, smells, smells. I am huge when it comes down to these smells. Okay. A lot of people who work out, who are active, who don't use the right material when it comes down to workout attire, or even clothing, or nylon pantyhose, or even, you know, the cute little drawers that only have that little nylon little crotch patch in between, or a lot of men that are walking around that just smell like yesterday's food, or, oh, gym socks. We got to stop, okay? Like, we definitely have to stop. Sexual responsibility is your obligation to maintaining a balanced life. You know, like, so we definitely have to get around these ways. This little vagina therapy, back again, we are back to Nini's Organics. I have this personally. This thing helps, mind you. I work out multiple times a day. I don't stink. Like, I just don't stink. I don't have a body. You can catch me right after it's a thing. But everything that flows through me is all 100% organic life greatness, you know, like, so. But this is one of those little tidy up things, you know, this little vagina feminine spray. I think that this is just a great little tidy up. Sometimes you're just out ripping and running and you just kind of need a nice little spritz off. That stuff is amazing. It doesn't burn. It doesn't do anything. Once again, I say go back to Nini Organics. She is 100% handmade, handcrafted, all of that. She's a naturopath as well. So everything is of the earth and for the earth. And she specializes in Yoni. She specializes in the vaginas. So I highly recommend that specific spray. The skinny coconut oil. Now, If anybody knows the power of actual coconut oil, I have now realized not all coconut oils are created equal. Skinny coconut oil, okay, y'all, it's expensive. It is so expensive. It is pricey. But when I tell you it is worth every single dime, every single dollar of what this stuff is, I was using just a simple little, $5 little Trader Joe's coconut oil and realizing like, what did I do different? What did I switch up? This coconut oil matters. I don't know the difference. I don't know, but I know it's better. My body responds different. My skin responds different. Everything responds different. Coconut oil is also an amazing lube. So if anything is safe in your vaginal, penis area, whatever the case may be, it's a natural deodorizer as well. I recommend this specific one, but you are more than welcome to purchase any other type of and do your own trial and error. But I am a firm believer in this specific coconut oil. I just purchased a 16-ounce one and it was like $40, maybe $50. Even that, yep, and I'll do it again. And I'll do it again for the rest of my life. I think that I am addicted to this one in particular. But like I said, if you just wanted to try different things or just sporadically, Trader Joe's has a great coconut oil. You're more than welcome to purchase online, and that is $5.99. Or you can visit your local TJ Maxx or Ross. They also have a nice, beautiful, organic spice department, and you just find all sorts of little random stuff. So I definitely recommend this, but that keeps away the smells. If we rubbed our bodies down in this specific coconut oil or any type of coconut oil, it takes away the smells. I don't know what it is about it, but it's safe for you to use on your vagina. I'd much rather you walk around smelling like coconut oil residue than walk around smelling like hot pennies in the panties. Like, that's just not okay. People are walking around with these very foul stench odors. And I am a raw foodist. So my sensory system is very high. It's very, very high. I smell everything. I see everything in Technicolor. It's bad. Like, it's real bad. If anybody here is in my boot camp, please, 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 please participate in these nice, wonderful articles that I am actually putting up in these nice little products, because, man, look, you are what you eat. You did not escape that tailgating. You did not escape your adult beverages or your family cookout. You did not escape, and you're coming into this place and we are releasing everything completely across the board. Not to mention, you're out here giving away these mediocre vaginas thinking that you have something of greatness. You don't. You just don't. It's not there yet. You have the potential, but you're just not there yet. Also, this nice little Colorex or Clorex, however you actually pronounce it, this intimate care. Now, this is for extreme cases only. So if you have major stench or major whatever, this is a nice little balancing cream that you just rub on yourself, and it definitely helps dilute those smells. It is a problem when it comes down to these lady parts, these male parts, whatever it is. Men, don't be walking around with these little smelly balls. That is not okay. It is not okay in any way, shape, or form. Nobody wants to put their mouth on them. Nobody wants to touch them. Nobody wants to get freaky with them. Nobody wants to adore them, love them, or anything. Someone who allows you to walk around smelling like that is simply objectifying you, or they do not know themselves any better. Let's be better. Lady parts, better ways for natural feminine hygiene products. Now, once again, I'm not going to go too deep into these things, but we definitely have to get away from using all of these commercial brands when it comes down to our feminine hygiene products. So I have a one-day cycle. So my cycle isn't super heavy, so I don't have to go through all sorts of different pads or tampons or anything like that. I recently used this little sponge. So this little sponge, this little sea sponge, man, I love it. I love it. It was awesome. Now, a lot of people who are scared of their own blood and scared of their own bodies, that this may not be the thing for you, but for those who are really in tune with themselves and are okay with themselves, I definitely recommend it, especially if you don't have a super heavy cycle, or you don't want something inside of you, or you don't want to walk around feeling like you have on a diaper or anything like that. There are alternatives. So this nice little sea sponge, I used this recently. I absolutely fell in love with it. You wring it out, you wash it out, put it in some hydrogen peroxide when you're done with it, and then just store it away. I'm all about everything being biodegradable and reusable. So I don't want to keep having to buy feminine hygiene products, or I was that person who saved all of her tampon applicators to throw them in a recycling container because I care about the planet. So it's like, hold on, wait, where's all this plastic going? Because I know, you know, plastic doesn't go anywhere. So where's all this plastic that I'm using just because I'm on my menstrual cycle? I bet we don't think about those things. So I also recommend, especially things that aren't harming you, because of all of these chemical products are filled with different chlorines and bleaches and fibers that are set up and chemically altered to harm us and to harm our wombs. Because there is honestly a lot of money in the medical field for hysterectomies. They want to perform surgery. I'm not saying, because we're not about to go into the conspiracy theorist systems and all that, because that's a whole nother webinar. But health is not set up to help us. Health, there are profit and problems. So we're going to go outside of those problems and outside of other people profiting off of us. And we're actually going to do something for ourselves to improve ourselves in order to be a better version of ourselves. So these natural hygiene products, all of these things that are up at the top, these are different little feminine cups. So these are nice little diva cups, the femme cup, the keeper. So there's all sorts of little cups. Read up on them. These things are awesome. These things also are not going to harm you. It's not sending out any type of hormonals. Of course, it's not scented. So those scents are sending out all sorts of different things as well, especially my ladies who are dealing with fibroids and overgrowths of tumors and cysts and all of those things. I directly correlate that to an overgrowth of hormones and an overgrowth of synthetic fibers. I personally believe that fibroids are nothing but an overgrowth of hormones. Where are the extra hormones coming from? The extra hormones are coming from the meat and the dairy that we are consuming on a regular basis. Where are the extra fibers and the harmful chemicals coming from? The harmful chemicals are coming from the feminine hygiene products. So always panty liner every single day or every single time for the past 20 years since we've had our menstrual cycles, we've only used a specific brand, not realizing that those brands are doused in GMO cotton, genetically modified cotton. So if it's genetically modified cotton, this isn't even real cotton that you're sticking inside of you. All of these feminine products that we're engaging in on a regular basis, this is not the way that we're supposed to be doing things. It's actually going completely away from natural law, from the natural order of divine femininity, and really understanding how to really get to the root of the problem. You know, like, so all of these things, you know, typical women think about typical shit because they vibrate at the lowest level. So we are becoming victorious and we are not vibrating on those energetic levels at all anymore. And we honestly have to use intellect over emotion, especially when we're choosing our food, when we're choosing our lovers, when we're choosing our anything. We have to use intellect over the emotion. Turmeric. This stuff kills everything. This is one thing that you definitely should incorporate on a daily basis all of the time because of its anti-inflammatory properties, because it actually does all of this wound healing, sugar balancing, antibacterial. You have to get ahead of the game before the game takes you over. Once again, this is all about the prevention of everything. Also, these little patches. I found these little patches. They're $1 something. I don't get cramps or anything like that, but I definitely know a lot of people who suffer with those ailments and they suffer with a lot of things that they're dealing with on a regular basis. You don't have to be that person. You definitely do not have to fall victim to any of these things that we are dealing with on a regular basis. So really understanding how to get ahead of all of the issues that we are dealing with on a regular basis. It's all about, once again, life prevention, navigating, and getting ahead of everything else. Preventative things that can truly heal. When you are in a space to where you are causing prevention, you really want to definitely go to fruits and vegetables and understanding how nature truly works and why nature is designed that way. Our bodies are not set up to harm us in any way, shape, or form. So when our bodies are not set up to harm us, we definitely have to get to a space to where we understand how our bodies work. So it's all about preventing things that can possibly heal us. Go green, chlorophyll. This is one thing that I have just about everybody in my boot camp on nowadays. If you come to Effect Fitness, you will definitely see in Atlanta, Georgia, these people that are walking around with these little green juice water things. So everybody's like, what is this green stuff that you guys are having in your juice? What is that? Like, everybody's walking around with this green stuff in their water. That is chlorophyll. Now that you actually see what chlorophyll truly is, chlorophyll and plant blood are basically the same. So human blood, hemoglobin, and chlorophyll are basically the same. The only difference is chlorophyll has magnesium. We don't naturally produce magnesium at the rate that where chlorophyll truly does. So really understanding what we have to understand to get this chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is also a natural body deodorizer. So it helps our bodies alkaline itself and really get to that space of just cleanliness and no body odor and understanding, you know, it's a regulator of so many different things. Once again, we are dehydrated. We're walking around on this water planet and we don't consume water in a capacity as we should. It's also anti-inflammatory. So if we're dealing with anything, any type of inflammation or any sort of things, once again, bad breath, all of this stuff, we definitely have to start incorporating chlorophyll. This green world is not by mistake. Everything on this planet flourishes. Everything is green. It's so bountiful. It's so beautiful. And it also helps you break any type of addiction. Instead of drinking your Coke, go ahead and get you some chlorophyll. Instead of really trying to get an antibiotic or build up your immune system, get you some chlorophyll as well in addition to that. So this is something that I definitely recommend everybody incorporate on a daily basis, just because of the fact of what it truly does. And it definitely is all about preventative care. If you get ahead of it, I believe people who consume chlorophyll on high rates do not have hypertension. They're not walking around with super painful periods. Things do not work that way. So getting ahead of the game when it comes down to what chlorophyll actually does and how it can benefit you in your life and how to navigate around it. Boost your immune system. Boost your immune system, everybody. There are some things, once again, we're going to come back to this echinacea. The echinacea, it treats all sorts of different things. It also cures vaginal yeast infections, all sorts of different things. Bearberry leaf. Bearberry. There we go. Bearberry leaf definitely helps build up your immune system. Blue cohosh is a healing herb as well. Not to mention cayenne pepper, celery seed, chamomile, chickweed, cinnamon, cloves. And once again, we come back to that echinacea because that echinacea is a blood purifier. So it stimulates all the production of your white blood cells, which destroy bacteria and viruses. So this is one of the main things that I definitely recommend. Also, off to the right, you've seen this Queen Afua book. This book, every single female should definitely own, just to navigate around her female body. Queen Afua is a huge healer in a plant-based lifestyle and women of melanin and all sorts of African descent. This is not exclusive to, but definitely I recommend getting this specific book. Heal Thyself will definitely help learn and navigate how to become a better you and master these vaginas, to understand how delicate you are, to understand how beautiful you are, to understand your lady parts, to really understand what we are out here doing and what we are up against when it comes down to just the human body. So really understanding what that stuff is, how it works, understanding what your sacred sexuality truly is, how to really boss up and master someone. Because literally, like, there is intercourse that you can truly have for actual healing. I believe that all trauma seeks a home or a hideout somewhere in the body. So when it actually does so, it wraps itself in a muscle tissue, which makes itself cozy and hoping to never be found again, which is unlikely since it will inevitably cause discomfort. So these sorts of traumas, they also get lodged in the body in other ways. So For example, the energy of trauma actually stores the energy in the emotional body. So that's the reason why you can't release. That's the reason why we can't be victorious. That's the reason why you're walking in the bedroom talking about, I don't do that. This is not how I was raised. You shouldn't be having sex like at all. If you're not going to do it right or in the best interest of your life, of the best interest of your partner, of the best interest of what you truly are in here doing, there are definitely things that we have to learn and we have to be truthful with inside of ourselves. So anytime something truly painful comes and it's foreign to the body and the soul actually locks it in. So we have to harness ourselves and harness our wombs on a higher level. Otherwise, we'll just be walking around with all this hurt and trauma and this heartbreak and this bitterness. And then it looks like cellulite. It looks like bacterial vaginosis. It looks like a headache. It looks like all of these different things. So really understanding how this stuff truly works. I'm starting to get questions in, so I'm gonna just start incorporating the questions as I flip through the last little bits of these slides. The first question that I have is, does Dong Quai help for cervical cancer prevention? It does. Dong Quai is one of those herbal tinctures or, herbal leaves that definitely helps in prevention and balancing and toning your entire body. So I definitely recommend, it will definitely help with that. I also want to say, go ahead and just incorporate echinacea on a regular basis, because echinacea is one of those herbs that definitely, because it's a flower, but it helps regulate any single thing in preventative care for anything. So that's a cold, that's the flu, that is, a little 3-year-old toddler sneezes, that's any sort of infection because it boosts your white blood cells. Hair removal. So many people ask often, Tierra, what's the best hair removal system or anything like that? Personally, I wax because I don't like walking around looking like a star crunch of the vagina. I think that the itching that actually takes place of the shaving, it's more abrasive on the actual skin. Not to mention it subjugates yourself more to ingrowns and things like that. So that's just my personal preference. I wax. I also think that hair removal should be a seasonal thing. So in the lighter summer climates or springtime, or if you're going to a pool or something like that, yes, that should be the only time that you're actually removing the hair to that multitude. Outside of that, I think you should just definitely keep it low because it's there for a reason. It is helping and it's keeping and combating off all sort of wanted foreign energies. But if there's nothing there, it's like your door is wide open. So if your door is wide open, anything can come in there. I think people are subjugating themselves a lot more to the infections and harmful bacteria, all because of the simple fact there is no hair there. So the more clothing that takes place, I definitely recommend actually leaving a little bit of hair, and if it's just, oh my gosh, I can't have this on me, I'm sorry. You're opening yourselves up to far more infection, because anything that is really, really sacred on the body, it's hairy. Anything that's really important on the body, it's hairy. It's a natural protectant. So throughout the fall, winter months, I recommend that, and also giving your skin a chance to regenerate itself as well. So once again, everything's okay in moderation, but here are some definite remedies when it comes down to shaving or prevention from ingrowns or the color discoloration, because nobody wants to, honestly, nobody wants to put their mouth on no ugly vagina, and no ugly vagina, all because it's all these scars because you've been shaving for the past 15 years. That is just not cute. It's just not. And I hate to be vain about it. It's just not aesthetically pleasing at all to look like, what did you recover from? So aloe will definitely help you. After you shave or after a hair removal, wax, anything like that, I say, especially since your pores are open in those next few days, definitely go and buy you some aloe vera gel or purchase you an aloe plant and just have that on demand at any given time to just, a nice little light coat. Aloe is such a beautiful superfood. It does so many different things. It has amazing medicinal qualities. And I know that that can definitely be a major component to just cell regeneration as a whole. Also, to keep down the hair removal or ingrown hairs or redness or irritating or smells or anything like that, lemon. Lemon is a natural disinfectant. It's natural antifungal. It's natural, all of that. It also helps lighten the skin. So even if you just have might want to take some lemons up out of your water from the restaurant if you don't have any at home. Or just excuse yourself and go to the restroom for a moment and just kind of rub around. It also keeps the stench from coming out as well. This is something that I also use on a regular basis for workout purposes, or if I'm being active or something like that out in the world where I don't want any products on me. I kind of still appreciate my natural balance, but I definitely want to make sure it's preventative care. Lemons help. Lemons are a natural deodorizer as well. So I also, one of my little tricks is I'll juice a few of the lemons, and then I keep it just in a little container, and I'll dilute it a little bit with water, and I keep that in a refrigerator. So when I keep that in a refrigerator, there's my deodorant, there's my tonifier for my vagina if I just got waxed or whatever the case may be, or maybe I just want to make sure I'm fresh and clean and not walking around smelling like armpits because I have on a maxi dress and I can't wear drawers because it's not going to look right with this awesome dress that I have on. Understanding there are other ways to go around these things. Also, tea tree oil. If you don't have tea tree oil in your medicine cabinet, this is a must-have. Tea tree oil is a cure-all for so many different things. It can definitely be abrasive, but being mindful of how to truly, truly warrant it and use it to its maximum effectiveness. Tea tree oil also takes away discoloration. So if you have any sort of discoloration, or just make sure, once again, preventative care, make sure you rub some on a little bit, coat it with a little bit of aloe. You can even do the coconut oil. Rub all of that on yourself. And that definitely makes sure, nothing harmful can pretty much set yourself up to harm you once again. So I have a second question. Does maca root make you gain weight? Maca root is a natural hormone stimulator, and it's a balancer. So it all depends. It really does. Some people, they gain weight. Some people's lady parts fill out. Some people get bigger butts. Some people get bigger boobs. Some people, it just honestly depends on what it's going to do with your body and what it's also interfering with. So if you are a dairy consumer, or if you are a meat consumer, or very high in potatoes and processed foods, yes, it will definitely attach itself to those things and quantify it. But ideally, it does not, make you gain weight in a bad way. It makes you gain a nice little lady weight. Sexual secrets in a sacred space. All right, here comes the good stuff. But first, I definitely want everybody to truly understand what we are doing and why we are doing it. So ladies, no more lovers, please. There's a whole lot of women out here who are hooked on a bad man with a good orgasm. A sacred woman must have a committed lover within her mate, husband, or a husband to be. For the salvation of your soul, she must strive to avoid people who are merely just a hit and run type lover, who will violate you and your womb, your spirit, and leave you high and dry. You can't afford to be involved with someone who does not intend to go deeply, to make a commitment. That person does not need a lover who is oh so sweet for a moment and only have those, that turn into hours and days and even years of feeling insecure, resentful, angry, depressed, lonely, empty, and abused. An uncommitted relationship can create these feelings inside of a woman and even inside of a man. A woman who actually permits and encourages a man to deal with her predominantly on a sexual basis is setting herself up for emotional and spiritual danger. She can find herself on a collision course of pain. She can become needy, desperate, or hostile for absolute healthy love flow or healing experience. There must be a commitment. So for any woman to really open up, she must be absolutely at peace with her soul. For when she actually trusts her man enough, like when she truly trusts that person enough, a woman's love is like a deep vault. She will not hold back on her love. So when she's confident in her partner's love, or in the love that actually comes from the height, she will merely open up her thighs for sex. She will not do that. She will open up her sacred vault to reveal the treasure of her sacredcy within inside of her womanhood. In a committed union, there will be many blissful gateways of ecstasy, joy, and peace. Yep, I said peace. Yes, yes, yes. When a woman is truly ready to experience a loving union with that person, she will have no need to hold back in fear of being hurt. She will bless that union with her mate, and she needs to know that that person will gain and is going to be there for her without any type of excuses, without stories, or without lies. I also understand there are a lot of women who are here, who are in marriages, who are in partnership, who are in contractual unions with people who you have outgrown, who hurts you, who abuses you, who takes your trust, your sacred space for granted. But women, we must first establish your worth, your value, and really your richness within inside of your beauty and your power within inside of yourself in order for that man or that person to have a passion or commit to you. Body, mind, and spirit. It comes from you. It has to evolve from you. It really, really does. We're all out here allowing these lower vibrations to be a part of us. And it's allowing all of these spaces to come inside of us, not realizing our bodies are our temples. We have to be patient. We have to cleanse ourselves, and that person will truly come. The man who is presently in your life or strives to be in your life, not to have, you know, a hamburger or wine bread lover or frozen food type of marriage. You know, like we have to truly keep our bodies, our temples clean and pure, so you will attract a sea moss and sprouts type of man, or a watercress and dandelion type of mate, or a wheatgrass and mustard greens and kale type husband who is just like you, just as strong, just as pure. Watch your food intake and your thoughts, attitudes, and feelings, for what you embrace internally reflects your inner environment. So women, we have to take the responsibility to model that level of union it is that we truly seek. Like we have to be it. We are the strength. We are the vulnerable. We are responsible. And by any means, while in waiting, stay away from the foods or the herbs that stimulate your libido. Otherwise, you'll be out here thotting on Thursdays with the rest of these hoes. We're not going to do that. We're actually upgrading ourselves. But if you want something that's just spicy and something to really step it up a notch, or to really just teach your husband, your partner, whatever it is that you are doing, a lesson, okay, here's some secrets. Here's some little Tierra secrets outside of the honeydew, cantaloupe, and watermelon. I'm trying to tell you, drink it. Drink a whole bunch of it, the organic kind, not the GMO kind, and it'll work better. But here are some spicy little sexy boosters that, you know, I'm a Pisces, so I get very imaginative. So I like to play. On the left, here are all different types of personal vaginal lubricants. These are, you know, sometimes you just ain't quite in the mood and you need a little bit of assistance. Go ahead. All of these 100% non-harmful, non-hormone, it's not going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form. All of those are different types of lubes. Be mindful with your cleansing, because if you go in one hole and then switch it and go to the other hole, you know, we got 3 different holes that you can enter on our bodies. So whatever one it is that you're going to, be clean about it. You know, like be mindful. Ain't nobody knocking nobody's those little freak numbers or little freak factors. At the end of the day, do what you do. Just do it organically. Also in the middle, these are some nice little love potions. These are little tonics, things that you can actually spike somebody's drink with. These are things that you can actually boost for yourself, for your partner, for your lover, for whatever it is that you're actually engaging in. These are nice little sexy secrets, okay? These are little secrets. You can spike somebody without, you know, harmful ecstasy and get them there and get them there. I'm trying to tell you, these are definitely natural aphrodisiacs that definitely will help that enchantment. On the last picture, these are all natural libido enhancers. So all of these will definitely help get that thing popping, whether it is for pregnancy purposes or fiance purposes, or hey, I'm just trying to turn out because we are here on vacation and I want to be the best me that I possibly can be, or whatever the case may be. Maybe you just want to stimulate and see where you can actually go with inside of yourself. There you go. It's a whole shelf, a whole shelf. If you are in the Atlanta area, I recommend going to Health Unlimited. It is on North Druid Hills Road. I definitely recommend going in there. They have a lot of herbal things that are in stock on a regular basis. And personally, I have two people that will work with you personally. Their name is Jason and her name is Jessica. Even if you are not in Atlanta locally, you can call up there and they will be more of an assistance to you to be able to help you, and they'll purchase everything. You can purchase everything over the phone and they'll ship it to you as well. So that is my personal little place that I can go to on a regular basis. But without any of those things, I definitely recommend everybody has to read. You definitely have to read all over. Nothing works but work. Here's for my third question. Since vaginas are self-cleansing, why do we need these cleansers? Is it for extra precaution? You don't necessarily need those cleansers. I honestly, personally, like a nice little, a little foamy cleanse or whatever. They're very, 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 especially if you don't take baths on a regular basis or you don't allow your yoni to truly just allow it to just soak and flow in and flow out. I think that we are in a different environment here in the US and we're fighting all sorts of different things. So I honestly am not one to walk around with just completely not soaked vagina. And I think I am super healthy. I don't know. I just have not done it. Now, if I'm walking around and going through an ocean, or I just came from sitting on a, what is that Asian thing? It's like a wound cleaner. So it's basically you sit on it and hip bath. That's what it's called, a hip bath. So if I'm just came from a hip bath or some sort of treatment or anything like that, definitely. I don't say that you need those cleansers. I'm saying that that is something that you can use instead of the animal fat that we're using on a regular basis. Resource books. These are books that I definitely recommend everybody can just kind of have just on deck, especially if you are a mother and you have a little lady and y'all are trying to break into helping her understand herself, or if you are a grandmother and you're just trying to understand, just an encyclopedia of natural medicine or healing or whatever the case may be. These are amazing books. This Down There book, I've recommended it multiple times. I recommended it in my Master Your Menstrual webinar. This is one of my go-to resource books for everything. It has just a very, very simplistic way that you can go about understanding just your female anatomy, reproductive health, different herbs, and it goes outside of herbs as well. It tells you, yogurt and all sorts of things. I definitely don't recommend yogurt because I don't recommend the dairy, but I recommend the probiotic that's inside of the dairy that makes the yogurt supposedly good. So that's a really, really great resource book on having to understand how to truly heal yourself in that way. So I definitely recommend all of these things. I have to wrap this up. Yay. So another question that I have, let's bring it back to me. Hopefully y'all see me. Yay. Hopefully. Do we see me? All right. So to finish off the rest of this webinar, I definitely appreciate everybody for actually being here with me. I have a few more questions that I'm definitely going to answer. So yay, this question says, are yoni eggs recommended for virgins? No. Yay, you guys can see me. Okay, I would not recommend a yoni egg for an actual virgin. So if you've never been penetrated, I definitely do not recommend breaking your hymen with a yoni egg. Yoni eggs are for healing purposes and for, actual sexual energy as well. I also recommend if you are a virgin and never been penetrated, which a lot of people, it's such a beautiful thing to be in a space of self-preservation, or even just at an age to where you just have not gotten to that space within inside of your life yet. I definitely recommend getting just healing stones. It doesn't necessarily have to be a yoni egg. It could be a beautiful bracelet. And it's all about the intention that you're putting behind Earth's gems, because that's ideally what it is. Go and get a bracelet, go and get you a nice little precious stone that you understand the healing properties that actually come behind that as well. So there's so many different things that you can actually do as opposed to the actual vaginal insertion behind the actual yoni eggs. Will the hormone balancers help with PCOS? Yes, yes, yes. Everything that I recommended for fibroids, for hysterectomies, I tried to speak completely across the board, very general, but it's all the same exact thing. So the main contributors to PCOS, fibroids, any type of hormonal imbalance, fibromyalgia, all of those things, it is trauma. Fibromyalgia, the trauma may not be your trauma. It may be from the cow, the chicken, the beef, the dairy, whatever it is that you actually consume. Not to mention the sexual trauma, they may not have been healed. That trauma could have been carried on from a past lover. Also the PCOS, it is literally polysomething, cystic, ovarian, another word I can't pronounce. Okay. It's an overgrowth of hormones, basically. Generally speaking, we can use all sorts of medical words that were never on any of our spelling tests that we cannot pronounce. It would not be one of those. Understanding that all of that is an overgrowth of hormones. I, Tierra, personally do not know another way that you can still consume meat, dairy, and processed foods and eliminate these issues without the medical industry. So I'm just trying to be very direct when it comes down to it. You have to starve the things that's actually feeding. So if you if you starve what it actually eats off of, which is hormones, which is sugar, which is processed foods, which is flours, which is enriched things, which is artificial flavors, thank you, which is all of those things. If you starve it, it can't survive, just like anything else in any other climate. So it grows. So really understanding what that stuff truly is, you're feeding it directly. So if you starve it directly, it can't live. I've had at least 5 cases of people where we reversed their PCOS to where they literally had appointments for hysterectomies. There's another way, people. You do not have to have your life force being taken out of you just based off of monetary gain. And some people, yes, you know, sometimes it definitely is recommended to be at a space of, you know, it's just pretty much time to take it out. But if you can do anything that you possibly can, especially preventative care or reversed care, definitely I recommend go with nature. Like go with nature in all of those elements. So somebody asked, where do I purchase my yoni eggs? My yoni eggs, personally, I've had them for years before this whole popular trend of what yoni eggs came to be and how they came to be. You definitely have to go in and research them. There's so many different spaces now. So if you feel really good about the vibe that you have when encountering any type of yoni egg or magical stone, or go and actually visit your local metaphysical bookstore, or just look up everything on Google, not even Google. There's a great website that I actually look at that teaches me a lot about metaphysics, that teaches me a lot about stones and crystals. It's called Mystic Mama. She's amazing, all about astrology, all sorts of different things. So I'm pretty sure that's a great resource site that can help guide you and navigate you ideally across the board. So really understanding how that stuff actually works. Somebody said eating healthy helps plant-based change everything. Yes. So there are a few things I definitely wanted to share. One, hydrate. Water is the key to flushing out anything. Water is the key to tasting good, to looking good, to smelling good, to feeling good. Hydrate. This is one of the major components that we as a people should definitely have with inside of ourselves on a regular basis. Hydrate. You can never drink too much water. I recommend alkaline water or distilled water. Do whatever actually works for you. This is just what Tierra does for herself. Few things, told you. I don't do anything or talk about anything I don't speak about or I don't know about personally. This is one thing, this don't quite, I have it, and it makes me a happy person amongst so many other things. I think this is one of the main abilities of how I'm able to work out the way that I work out and be a super active. But this is also a way why my libido is on 59 trillion thousand all the time, and I'm always looking for creative outlets in order to release that energy as well. So you have to definitely come outside of yourself or anything else in order to really understand how to utilize everything. Somebody asked, do you have any suggestions for actually testing your pH or at-home pH test? No, I've tried a few of them, and all of that at-home pH test, I definitely wouldn't recommend anything in particular. I just have not found one personally, but if you did, definitely I would just say go to an actual neuropath or a herbal specialist that would be able to point you in a better direction for that, because I honestly do not know. I didn't have good experiences with those things as well. The grapefruit seed extract, one of the #1 natural antibiotics as well. So definitely start getting into the natural antibiotics and really, you're welcome, and really understanding how preventative care is everything. Because we don't want to wait until it's too late before we're actually dealing with an issue or dealing with a problem chronically, and then we're trying to clean up everything. No, let's go ahead and prevent this. If we know we're about to do something, let's go ahead and prepare ourselves to go and engage in whatever type of activity it is that we choose to participate in. If you are drinking adult beverages on a regular basis, okay, so there's a few things that you should have on deck. And I'm not saying that this is the key and this is the way around getting a urinary tract infection or bacterial vaginosis or anything like that. No, you're participating. If you're participating, you are prone. It is going to happen. It's just all about when it happens. But have you some oil of oregano on standby at all times, because that is antifungal and antibacterial, and it'll kill just about everything. Also, keep you some activated charcoal on standby as well. It comes in capsules. You can consume it. You can mix it in a nice beverage, whatever it is. It doesn't have any taste. It's black, but it is completely odorless. That definitely starts taking in all of those electrons and basically making everything solid and flushing it completely out. So that can definitely help as well. I personally do not know. I don't consume adult beverages. My body just does not work that way at all anymore. If I do, it's maybe one early in the day, because my body just does not allow me to do those things at all anymore. So if there aren't any more questions, I can see the actual chat box. Yeah, no hangover. I can see the chat box. But if anything else, definitely I appreciate everybody for being here and investing in yourself with this specific webinar. Thank you for actually believing in me, my creativity, my area of expertise of holistic living. Definitely, please feel free to email me if you have any specific questions, or if you wanted to go a little bit deeper or really customize something that is geared 100% towards you, please feel free to book a talk with Tierra. Make sure you all go on and actually like the TierraGoesGreen Facebook page. There's all sorts of different specials and things that I actually announce on the TierraGoesGreen Facebook page. There's all sorts of things that I incorporate on a regular basis just for daily living with all of my social media outlets. I definitely hope that this helped. I hope that this helped. Use reusable pads. Get you a Yoni egg. Get those old lovers out of you. Get them out, because they go in there and they stay in there, and we don't know how to get them out. Get them out, especially when you're done and you want to heal yourself and you want to radiate at the highest capacity. For all of my guys, thank you for participating in this, to actually learn the female anatomy on a whole nother spectrum, because it's so needed. Thank you for caring enough to care about women, to understand women and what we actually go through on a regular basis. We're all out here using equipment we don't even know how to use. We're abusing ourselves in ways to where we're literally going through and we're not valuing ourselves at our highest capacities because we were never taught. These are the conversations that people don't have. I have an Ivy League education, graduated summa cum laude. I did not know what this white shit was that was coming out my vagina and why it smells like that. You know, like really being honest with ourselves to be better wives, to be better people, to be better lovers, to be better partners, to be better people all the way around the board. So I definitely hope this was all of my knowledge. And once again, if I forgot something, I definitely apologize. Feel free to email me. I will answer your question. Do I ever experience body odor after exercising? I don't. I personally don't. But mind you, I have been plant-based since 2008. So I have been about this life for a very long time. So no, I don't get armpit odor. I don't vaginal, like instant. You can get me right after boot camp and I still smell exactly the same. So it's a thing. And I'm not just speaking on things that I don't know or trying to, you know, feed hopeful wishes and things like that. No, the way that nature has things set up, it is very beautiful. It's very organic. And it wasn't until I got to that space of absolute valuing myself and valuing my vagina and being in tune with who I was, why I was, my own truth, my own liberties, was I able to truly understand what I am out here to do. And 9 times out of 10, I realized this life isn't even about me. These experiences isn't even about me. This is about me to go through, to grow through, in order to be more beneficial to the planet, to be more beneficial to my community, to be a better human being ideally. It is for me to go through the experience and go through the work in order to really teach everyone else how to navigate through themselves using those communication systems. So yeah, the exercising, the working out, all of that stuff, it comes from literally the fabrics that we're wearing. I invest in good workout attire, really good workout attire. So I don't have those issues. I stay with cotton on, I stay with breathable material so nothing can actually get trapped up in there, because they're little life portals. And for all my mommies who are experiencing, you know, after childbirth, nobody truly taught you guys that your bodies completely change, ideally 100% after you gave birth. So your anatomy isn't even the same. Like, you grew a whole person, people, multiple, and altered your DNA, you altered your blood, you altered your bloodstream, you altered your feminine hygiene, you altered everything to bring these people here. Best panties to work out in? None. Take them off, let it breathe. When your body is actually releasing and contracting at that highest level, you want it to be able to come in and go out. You don't want nothing trapped in there. Or just wear cotton, 100% all cotton. Make sure you rub yourself down in some coconut oil beforehand, just to make sure there's any type of antibacterial properties as well. So you guys, thank you so much once again. If there's anything else that I can be able to help you with, please feel free to email me, TierraGoesGreen.com, you guys, or TierraGoesGreen@gmail.com and TierraGoesGreen.com for more information or anything like that. But please feel free, go onto social media, hashtag Value Your Vagina webinar. Let me keep up with you. Let me see what you've learned. Tell me your reviews about this. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you think. Tell me all of those things after the webinar. And please feel free to just share the love and let other people know how this experience was for you today. And once again, I apologize for any type of technical issues or any type of problems. It's Mercury retrograde, and we went out on a limb anyway to be able to do this at a time where technology is not at its best self. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Now go out and be virtuous with the value of your vagina, and y'all have an amazing, amazing, amazing day. Thank you for being here with me.